She's going to be on with us for the HMI segment for that portion. Okay.
Moi, c'est Darlene Joseph. Moi, suis un realtor, real estate broker avec Inspirational Homes dans Georgia. Moi, j'ai un pile année depuis que aidé moun acheter, vendre et investir dans Kai. Yo relem realtor communautaire. Si vous Florida, vous pensez pour venir Georgia, il y a un pile option pour vous. Tant qu'une option dans la communauté ça que nous prenons. Nous connaissons que Georgia a un gros Kai. Si vous pensez pour un gros Kai par là, contactez Darlene Joseph avec Inspirational Home à 678 613 75 76. Encore, c'est dans 678 613 75 76. Ou capable de joindre moi sur tous les réseaux sociaux, sur Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, moi là comme Sold by Darlene. Contactez-moi et m'appelez joindre Kai Paola.
Join us on Melo ATL, your go-to-live social media show for the hottest discussions on music, sports, news, HMI, Haitian culture, and the latest world gossip every Monday at 8 p.m. Hosted by the dynamic team Pinko, guest host Penkita, Rupipa, hosts Bouboule, at melemeloshow@gmail.com. We dive into every aspect of the media world with energy, insight, and a whole lot of fun.
Melo, tous les lundis 8h 10h. Melo is the most listening to show in USA. They go live on YouTube and Facebook. Melo est présenté par Penko, Penkita, Rupipa et Bouboule. Soyez branchés.
C'est gars-ci, ouais, Melo show, c'est plus gros show qu'il y a dans Atlanta. L'important pour nous garder parce que son show est chaque lundi.
Bonsoir tout le monde, bienvenue sur Melo. Non pas M. Rupipa, et nous dit nous bonsoir, nous espérons que nous te passé une bonne semaine. Et show à soir, je nous connais, c'est un show qui va chaud en pile. Et show, c'est nous allons développer un sujet, nous allons parler avec des séries de monde sur domestic violence. Avant ça, bon me dit bonsoir.
Mais comment est là, Rupipa?
En forme, Penkita, comment est?
Très bien, comment le week-end nous passe?
Très bien. Pas mal, bagadi là. En santé, de bonne santé, en forme.
Est-ce qu'on fait belle activité pendant le week-end, non?
Bon, vraiment, pas fait belle activité, même tant de séries de belles activités qui fait.
Oh yeah. Non, honestly, Final Touch Entertainment Caseville là pendant le week-end là. Yo t'a fêté 10e anniversaire yo. Yo fait 3 fêtes, c'est ça vraiment. C'est ça moi même, yo fait 3 fêtes, donc bon option, donc ils savent les faire. Ou qu'à soit aller dans les bois, c'est-à-dire Island, ou aller dans Cobb County. Soit aller au lait, ou descendre dans la ville, ou aller au lait, ou aller boire programme. Ou bien ou aller Midtown, genre, ou aller dans brunch. Donc, il y a 3 belles programmes. Moi, je vais aller dans brunch là, parce que depuis que manger, c'est là ça pour m'aller. Vous comprenez? Brunch, encore une fois, super. On a fait un brunch qui était très smart. En pile, là, il fait manger. Comme si le groupe là, il y a des gens qui fait manger. Donc, ça, il fait un menu, c'est-à-dire, lorsqu'on scanne code là pour jouer le menu, le menu a très clairement indiqué qui mange qui fait partie du restaurant, qui mange qui est au poté. Ça veut dire que ou même quand on a sauvé les supporters, très facile ou juste prendre manger qui est au poté. Which was super good. Et puis on débat très étonnant que fait tout, pas de connaître que Final Touch Entertainment c'était toute une organisation, c'est pas deux gars qui font programme, son business ba là chaque monde gon rôle, quand il y a un nouveau DJ mettait dans groupe là. Enfin, ils te font belle présentation de eux-mêmes, ils bien paraître, ils bien passé. Et au Caseville là, et me joue un t-shirt. C'est un grand cadeau pour me dire, moi, j'ai une chance pour me jouer en casquette. Moi, j'aime toujours jouer en argent pour me prendre plus.
Et puis, l'autre programme était fait au lait.
Ben, c'est ça, au lait, c'était le samedi.
Au lait, c'était le samedi.
Oui, t'es un lounge, là, faut
parce
dire, au lait, le
samedi.
samedi.
Artiste que t'es invité, comme t'es toujours voulu.
Même tout. Et yo. Yes.
C'est créole limité dans
Oh, c'est bon, ici, elle est.
Sur mon parent là, ici, même, monsieur toujours fait baler en créole, mais
Okay, yeah, I'm sure it was good.
Mais malheureusement, wow.
Mais il fait des 3 belles programmes pour fêter 10e anniversaire. Donc, faut nous féliciter. Final Touch Entertainment. Félicitations. Et 10 ans, c'est pas 10 jours?
10 jours. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Tout groupe ça.
Yes. And then many more success. You guys are really on the right track. So, appreciate you. Continue leading.
Yes. Nous avons Dorothy qui toujours dans toute bagaille, in a nursing association, et Final Touch même a fait musique pour jazz monté, et qui a fait des séries de belles fêtes. Encore Final Touch, qu'on est debout, Penkita en côté, c'est comme si nous tout.
C'est ça, j'aime de là. Moi, fais attention. Mais ouais, vous dites ça, moi, fais attention le programme pour moi analyser. C'est-à-dire, pas juste venir, je me fais, mais moi, vraiment garder, parce que je connais ce que tu as fait. Ou t'as regardé sac bon, sac pas bon. Oh, gomba qui pas bon, faut me dire. Mais ça c'est notre programme. Guys, musique là trop fort. Nous chita non brunch, m'a parler avec mon à côté maintenant, c'est crier, m'a crier pour mon entendre parce que nous toujours gain tendance c'est ouais. Donc musique là c'est trop fort guys. Si musique là ton petit Jean Piba, nous t'a fait plus belle conversation. Oh yo shout out Meli Melo dans ba tout. Yo shout out Meli Melo dans événement, ce qui était très bien. Mais guys, please on travaille sur volume là parce que nous tout n'a fin soud.
OK. Et bon, pour moun qui a pas demandé qu'on a dit à passer 2 et qu'on fait nous Bouboule par la jeudi il était grand inconvénient pas bien dans make it to the show.
C'est ça.
So on connaît ça fait nous 3 ou bien nous 4 là des fois nous fait choix, c'est parce que si on pas là, nous ca couvrir pour l'autre. Pendant ce temps, avant de vraiment commencer dans le sujet, on fait saluer sponsor là. Et n'a salué Darlene Joseph.
Spine analyst, Dr. Gérard,
Jeff, qui toujours supporté, Jeff, thank you so much.
I Lounge, my home.
Définitivement, monsieur bon petit nouvelle, je veux dire, fait comme content.
Moi-même tout les relèves.
Bon, pour qu'il y ait une série de monde qui t'a remetté des petits sacs passés, c'est que ça fait, depuis avant la mort pas encore. Oui, nous allons dans un petit programme, cigare que nous-mêmes nous faisons entre nous-mêmes dans la lunch. Et puis pendant que nous chita et dans la lunch, nous allons avec petite pochette qui a toute caméra, avec tout microphone, nous tout bagaille. Et puis depuis des mois nous perdus. Je dis là, au sérieux, moi je dis,
il réapparaît.
Je suis tout le temps dans l'office là, et puis regarde qui ça m'a regardé là, c'est pas. Premier samedi, il y a les Penko, ouais. Que nous besoin de caméra. Penko je viens pour nous. Mais après c'est ça en pile et aussi merci beaucoup.
Yeah, thank you.
iSpace pendant ce temps pas oublier non et un programme dans Alancha qui va le faire.
Oui,
nous avons un artiste à Alancha que nous pas l'interview là. Arrêtez là parce que nous avons paquet. Semaine dernière nous avons Fatima. Semaine ça
Flav.
Nous avons garçon.
On belle fille, on bel garçon. Et pas oublier, nous connaissons que ici là nous-mêmes nous sommes un groupe qui est très ouvert. Donc Bouboule pas là, mais il est un bel remplaçant pour lui jodi a. Moun qui connaît Manouchka Lominy, c'est lui qui parle là jodi a là, il va viber avec nous. Donc restez tout coup de parler, nous pas retourner.
Non, pas retourner. Faut dire ça fait nous belle jodi a, c'est iSpace oui.
Mais ça mi. Et là, tu mets nous deux là.
Tout le monde. Et j'en dis, pour tout le monde, et je ne parle de la lunch qui est bal, mais je dis nous-mêmes tout. Il y a des séries de monde qui doivent gagner idée, font petit podcast, font petit bail, même j'en ai fait là. Vous comprenez? Il y a des séries de monde qui doivent envie, font petit show, même j'ai avec Blood Shock dehors, ma petite cité, mais nous connaissons quelque chose qui est dehors. Et nous invitons à passer dans la lounge, iSpace.
Et à suivre page parce que je regarde, il y a un paquet de contenu qui est sorti là dans iSpace. C'est-à-dire bon visuel là, c'est-à-dire que nous sommes capables de voir qui peut aller, si vous ne connaissez pas qui iSpace là. Nous avons un paquet de belles visuels, ou la page là, ou après comme si honneur qui montre comment lier pour qu'on ait vibe là, pour qu'on sentir tout, qu'est-ce là tout.
Yep, et puis ça, nous avons Lucita à Candy.
Bientôt, nous avons besoin de Lucita là. Nous avons besoin de Lucita tout à l'heure là. Nous avons besoin de nous occuper. À partir de janvier là, le téléphone il va suspendre depuis décembre.
Accounting firm. C'est ça, oui. Mon qui a problème taxe. Vous comprenez? Nous mettons commencer relais pour rendez-vous. Parce que Lucita book en pile.
C'est vrai, puis tomorrow c'est tax deadline, mes amis, October 15th.
Is the tax deadline.
Mes amis, moi CPM n'a pas relève, non? Il pas relève, il m'a relève.
Sous en retard, courir relève, oui.
Courir relève, mon yo. Ça c'est pour moun qui te fait extension. Sous pas faire extension, t'es déjà en retard. Mais sous fait extension, c'est October 15th.
Et on a Prestige Luxury Transportation.
Bientôt qui prend my own mode of transportation in Atlanta. Suivez pour nous,
C'est une petite dette pour nous aller ou bien un mariage ou bien un bagage nouvelle fontier impression relais.
Ou bien même un enterrement tout, ou bien des bagages solennels tout, comme si service là vraiment très intéressant.
Et Jean L Consulting Group. Ça.
Toujours là avec nous.
Oui, son avocat sérieux qui est surtout spécialisé dans employment law. So, c'est un petit problème dans le travail là. Boss a bail pression, petite discrimination, bagaille.
Nous va
comprendre relais Jean L Consulting.
Yes, that's right.
Quand je numéro 1 sous page Meli Melo.
C'est ça.
En tout cas, et sans plus tarder, nous gagnons.
Bon, nous avons mon cap supporter nous qui est toujours là.
T5 Transit.
T5 Transit, sous quel que soit problème de trucking, sous besoin
Simervil Event.
Simervil Event, sous besoin event hosting.
Il y a Dr. Sound.
Dr. Sound.
Que nous parlons tout à l'heure là, tout dans fin émission.
C'est ça.
Et puis, quoi d'autre?
C'est tout? Non, là, on prend une petite pause là, on dit, on a pour tourner tout de suite. Et puis, nous allons venir jouer avec Manouchka qui va venir aider nous vibes aujourd'hui. OK? Donc, restez là, parler.
Restez là, parler. Et tant pis. Cher programme dans moi parce que moi j'ai un paquet de bagages que m'a suivre là moi de se garder n'a regarder pendant n'a pas réclame là pour nous attendre ça pour le passer cher programme
parce que nous pas de émission ça et
pas oublier nous sur YouTube si gon monde qui dit pas gain Facebook juste il met YouTube blanc là OK et puis si nous t'aimer font petite conversation ensemble avec nous mettre monter sur page là côté ou attendre nous là écrit soit gain pour écrire parce que gain des séries de côté que n'a besoin et connaît qui ça ou pensez parce que nous t'aimé ça aujourd'hui un petit genre plus interactif.
Oui.
Et puis il y a monde qui relève m'a travailler sur ça pour téléphone là. OK, n'a essayé travailler sur ça côté que nous avons téléphone côté nous carrelé bon nous tendez nous tout bail etc. Mais nous mettre monter en bas l'écran
participer et on l'autre bagarre nous t'aimer que faire fois ça parce que connaît Meli Melo vient international qu'on y a. C'est pas juste mon Atlanta qui regarder nous. C'est-à-dire de qui côté n'a pas écrit, de qui côté nous y dit from Florida, from Ohio, from Canada. Tell us where you're listening to us for.
Okay. So Atlanta,
we're rolling out the red carpet for this November 9th. Association Production of Georgia and Final Touch presents a Election Week wrap-up. Get ready for the Queen, Lucita Guillaume. Lucita will perform live Saturday, November 9th at Essence Nightclub. Along with the International Club King, DJ Stacks, DJ Marjo Mix, and DJ Final. Also, get ready for Vanessa Desiree. Saturday, November 9th, inside of Essence Nightclub, 5439 Riverdale Road. It will also be a birthday celebration for Judell. Sound provided by DJ Nini. We're closing out Election Week at Essence Nightclub. VIP packages are available now, where advanced tickets are only $50. Tickets are available now at eventbrite.com. For info and table reservations, call 617-201-0321 or 404-955-2345. This is an event you can't miss. Atlanta, we're rolling out.
Essence Night Club accueille ce samedi 2 novembre un événement majeur et c'est Vision Entertainment and MLK Saouf qui présente la soirée annuelle baptisée Scorpio Bash. Avec classe pour plus gros et plus bel événement musical mois novembre dans Atlanta. Jazz à sous Pikli, bel spectacle, bel jeu d'ensemble, fanatique déjà paré pour une belle party avec Jazz Planet là. Class it is baby. Et pour amplifier l'ambiance, DJ Dr. Sound, DJ Macli and DJ Massive. Carlito Papa. Ou en fait ça, Nemo Jean-Baptiste Pral content et fanatique compas pral réjoui. Admission $40 à l'avance. Porte la plouvrie à 10h. Infoline 678 777 4265 778 884 1556 908 380 7205. Essence Night Club 5449 Riverdale Road Atlanta. Scorpio Bash samedi 2 novembre avec classe compas direct devant. C'est tout beau pral gazé.
Are you a commercial driver tired of wearing every hat in your business? Is the administrative burden keeping you from focusing on what you love? Do you wonder if you can even afford help to support you in your business? The wait is over. Make the call today. Call your new partners at T5 Transit, where we create entrepreneurial freedom. At T5 Transit, we set you right the first time so you can get on your way with confidence, knowing that all aspects of your business are taken care of. With our 7 essential services, you can be sure to find what you need to run your trucking company efficiently. Optimize your business with the Profit First Cash Flow Management System. Get yourself an insurance plan against unexpected legal challenges with the Commercial Driver's Legal Plan. Contact us today and find out about our budget-friendly options. Finally, enjoy the benefits of your hard work and let your business serve you. Contact T5 Transit today and watch your company thrive.
Pour qui ça va faire coller comme ça?
Ma commère, moi fatigué, moi envie dormir, mais dormir pas qu'à prendre.
C'est pas coller pour faire. C'est un jican campé raide qui solution.
Comment ça?
Jican campé raide là, c'est un jican naturel qui descend fatigue dans corps pour sommeil blayi sous. Et puis faire ou lever neuf, coup 9 points.
Pas connait non commère.
C'est lui même passé poté pour.
Commère, li goût. Côté m'a joindre ni.
Et les casse. Moi quitte famille Maxime parce que me connaît. C'est pas donné. C'est moi pas tout ça mais m'abandonner la société parce que me connaît. C'est pas donné. C'est malgré ça ou pas comprendre. Ou vraiment ou criminel.
Employee lawsuits can be emotionally draining, financially devastating, and oftentimes can be avoided through management training and ensuring you have risk mitigation processes in place that alert you of potential human resource issues. At the Gene Consulting Group, we help you take a proactive approach to how you do business. We do this by providing responsive, legal, and HR services tailored for you. Our services are on demand, on your terms, and transparent. You get a trusted advisor and partner who can execute across multiple lanes for a fraction of the cost. We help you maintain an engaged workforce while staying in compliance and avoiding costly litigation so that you can focus on what you do best, and that's growing your business. To learn how you can take a proactive approach to how you do business, please visit sandraljean.com.
Hello, everyone. Woody, you're about the camera. Okay, go ahead. I just told him, Woody, you're going to speak, and then I spoke.
I know. Bonsoir tout le monde. Bienvenue sur Plateau Meli Melo. Welcome. And we are going to discuss domestic violence. Des fois, when m'a font parler créole en anglais, c'est parce que we have a guest here. She only speaks English. Right? Only English. So we're going to try to make it as easy as possible.
Yes.
So from time to time, I will be able to translate for them and let them know exactly what you're saying, if you don't mind. Thank you.
Yes. And then so, again, you see that we have Manouchka. For the people who know Manouchka, I'll let her introduce herself. But she's the one who's replacing Fabrice for today. She's going to be the one running the show with us, those segments. So Manouchka, for the people who don't know you, do you mind introducing yourself in a few words?
Well, my name is Manouchka, Lominy, and I am a provider in the community. I believe most people know me. Most people know me in the community parce que c'est pas tomate moi passe partout et que moi travaille.
That's good. That's good. Manouchka she definitely undersold herself because she has a ton more, but you'll see in her interventions how it goes. And I also want to go ahead and introduce Cassandra Alexander Green, the other beautiful young lady sitting on the left of me. She's a community activist, producer, and writer who has dedicated her life to social justice and human rights. She is the founder of 2 organizations, WOWW and Witness, and is a board member of the SCLC and Angie's House. Her work focuses on civil rights, domestic violence, and justice reform, inspired by the tragic loss of her nephew. She has received numerous awards for her contributions to her community. Cassandra, it's an absolute privilege to have you on this platform with us to talk about such a sensitive topic that is likely touching more than half of us at this point in the U.S.
Yes.
Cassandra, how are you doing? And
I'm doing well, and it's an honor to be here. This is a subject that I'm very passionate about. I have worked in this area for over 35 years.
Yeah.
My organization, WOW, W-O-W-W, our main focus is domestic violence and human trafficking.
Okay. So, you know, a lot of people, and you and I had a chance to talk about this a little bit earlier. I want to go ahead and debunk the first couple myths that people who are not familiar with domestic violence, that's the first thing that comes to mind. Why do the victims stay when they're being clearly tortured, clearly hurt, clearly harmed? What do they stay? Why do they stay?
For everyone, it's an individual thing. Some people stay for finances. Some people stay. The main one I hear, and I actually did a play called But I Love Him. Listen, rich women, poor women, white women, orange women, and green women
for
all
love
tell me the same thing. But I love him. I feel like I can change him.
Yes.
And you cannot change a controller because, first of all, they don't want to be changed.
Yeah.
They're comfortable being a controller.
Yeah.
So for women, I just my biggest thing for people, please don't tell them you so stupid. Why would you even stay there and put up with that? That is the worst thing that you can say to a woman that is or man that is in domestic violence.
Yeah. And so we're here, and Woodsy is the only man on the show. How do you feel as a man when we talk about domestic violence? And again, it does affect men as well, but definitely more women so than men. As a man, how do you feel about that? Have you ever witnessed something like this? Your friends, people you know, how do you deal with something like this?
All right. Thanks for the question. Definitely, I'm not proud of it. I have to let you know.
Yeah.
Because for me, I think it's a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
A man just abusing, your wife, your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Whether it's physically or mentally.
Yeah.
But however, I have friends that has been abused, a guy friend.
Yeah.
Has been abused by his wife.
Yeah.
And believe it, he's also a cop.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
He told me that, his wife used to throw everything, you name it, out of the kitchen on him. The utensils, everything.
Yeah.
And screaming and yelling. He says that's the reason why most of the time that he stays at work to do a lot of overtime. For him to come home, he's got to be probably late at night, or he stops at the bar to to have a couple of drinks with some friends, just to make sure that when he gets home, his wife is already in bed.
Wow. So he's playing
this
avoiding.
does not affect only women.
Yeah.
Men as well too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I can say
of
something,
course.
what I can probably want to debunk the part of the myth. First of all, domestic violence, it's a huge term just to say there's violence in your household.
Mm-hmm.
So most of it is found among women. So 1 out of 4 women are victim of domestic violence. For men, it's 1 out of 7.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have children, so they do fall under domestic violence as well.
Yeah.
So for for and elderlies as well. So we have to make sure we are inclusive to make sure that we cover women tend to be more because when they even do ratio men to women, so to every 4 women there's 1 man. For men it's 1 to every 7 men there's 1 man that suffer a victim of domestic violence because it's just a broad term.
It is,
and it's a very broad term, and any violence that is done under the roof of someone, whether if it's elder abuse, whether if it's child abuse, whether it's spousal or a couple abuse, it all falls under domestic violence. I just wanted to clarify that for everyone.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times when people hear of domestic violence, so they always think mostly of women. Yes, it affects mostly women because most women who suffer, most violence that happen to be domestic, 75% of it, it's women.
It's women.
So, but you have to remember the small percentage of those subtypes.
Yeah, and talking about subtypes, I also heard that Black women are 3 times more likely to be in a domestic violence situation than white women. So why is that? Why is that? Why that disparity?
First, let me say this. Domestic violence is so underreported. So the percentage of women that are being abused, white women especially, they do it for a totally different reason a lot of times than we do. It's finances is a huge reason why a lot of them stay in the relationship.
Okay.
And they will not report that man to the police. Absolutely, positively not. Now, Black women, we are more likely to report than white women are. Some of us will report, but for the most part, it is finances for them. They are not going to report that man because that is how. Think about it. They are more at home. They're more being housewives than we are.
Yes,
we're working.
That's true. That's true.
You understand? So they're at
more
home.
dependent.
There you go. So when you are dependent on that man, who's going to take care of me? Do you know what I hear more than anything else? Who's going to take care of me and my children? Where are we going to live? I don't want my children in a shelter. That's huge with women.
Yeah.
They do not want their children in shelters. And, shelters get a bad rap. Some of them are really good and some of them, So then people are apprehensive about
And unfortunately, what I see a lot of people running away from being a statistic, being in a shelter, but then you forget that you are a statistic by staying in a violent relationship, right?
Exactly. You're exactly
so which
right.
statistic do we want to be part of?
Yeah.
I think it has to be with psychological readiness. So if the person is not ready, they're not going to leave, even though it's abusive. You have to understand there's a psychology behind somebody who's been abused. So a lot of them, they're either have seen their family being abused and they kind of accept the behavior, and even the perpetrator, who does the abuse, is called perpetrator. So they themselves, 75% of them were a victim of abuse as well. So you have a lot of psychology trauma going on that probably never got resolved, and so you're in that cycle. So that's why a lot of times you see children of domestic violence tends to select a partner who is violent themselves.
Yeah, so they reproduce that violence, and that's what you call the cycle of violence, right?
It's a cycle, and I can say that my mother was abused. We watched her being abused constantly as children. So it almost was normal for us to see her being
normalizing
black-eyed.
it.
Yeah, you end up doing that. And you don't mean to as kids. We don't want, and as I grew up, I realized that because of what I had seen her go through, I was susceptible to it.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And I opened myself up to it. It's almost like your spirit opens up to that type of behavior because it's normal for you, even though it's totally abnormal.
So do you want to share a little bit about how, as much as you are willing to, your personal experience with domestic violence?
I was married to a gentleman that literally all he had to do was have a bad day. And he would come home and whip my behind. I'm talking, I was in management at the time. I would have to wear shades to work. I'm not a makeup person. I would have to put on makeup to cover bruises on my face, and I would be coming up with all of these excuses, for why my arm, I couldn't move my arm or different. And you do that because fear factor is one of the hugest things in domestic violence, because I became so afraid of him that I walked on pins and needles in my own home because I didn't know what would trigger him that particular day. So it was devastating. And I remember I wouldn't even tell my family because everybody saw, oh, you so strong. Oh,
yes.
You educated. You got all this stuff going on. And they swore that was a reason why there's no way she would let somebody. And I had to keep it quiet because I didn't want my family to know that this man was beating me.
Was it because of fear of judgment?
Yes, of course, yeah.
Was it because of fear of judgment?
Absolutely. You don't want, who wants your family, all your friends knowing that
to see that you're failing in a relationship,
professional woman, and you're doing things, and you're a leader in the church, and you getting your behind whipped almost every night at home. What? Who wants somebody to know that? No.
But domestic violence across all races, socioeconomics, and it has no bounds.
So what I've also noticed that, as you were mentioning as well, the guy that is the abuser.
Women could be.
No. The guy,
you have to say perpetrator.
No, perpetrator. Okay, that's fine. He's the guy that is so nice in front of other people. People will not believe you.
Oh, that's a narcissist.
Yes, absolutely.
Because their image is important to them.
Absolutely. Very important.
And my ex-husband was a deacon in the church because I was a leader in the church. He was a leader in the church. So what do I look like? Even going to my pastor, because him and my pastor were like this. They were like, ace boom coon. So I couldn't go to my pastor and say, hey, your boy is whipping my behind. I need you to know that.
So now, did you have kids with this man?
I did not. We did not have any kids together, thank God. But I had a son that I had previously. So that was an issue.
Okay, because two people asked that question. Well, one person asked the question, another person testified that they went through it. What's the impact on kids who notice that and who live that? When someone here who's Caucasian said, well, for them, it messed up their child, and their child sought the same type of relationship.
Absolutely.
So what are some of the other impacts that you've noticed in your personal life and even outside when it comes to kids in that space?
Let me tell you, and I don't share my daughter's story because that's her story. You don't always want to, but a lot of people know her story. But she was because of what I endured, it trickled from my mom to me. And then it trickled down to her. And you keep saying, my child will never go through what I went through. And you're insisting.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Never will I. No man will. And that's what I said about seeing my mother beaten. I was like, if a man puts his hand on me, I wish he would.
Yeah.
I know. Woo! And then I fell in love.
You fell in love.
That's what I thought.
Fell in love.
That's what I thought.
Right.
It was. I fell in love. And honey, you could not tell me he wasn't the best thing since sliced bread.
Oh yeah, yeah. Plus you probably look good too.
And he was good. So it's a lot of different factors that come into play. But I believe that mine was a part of a generational curse.
Yes,
it came from my mother, came down to me, went to my daughter. Yeah.
So, but the question that I have also, don't you guys see the sign while you were boyfriend and girlfriend?
No.
That's something. Not really. Now you don't see it.
All of a sudden, it showed up.
No. It's step by step, right?
See, because you normalize the behavior, so they don't see it. So somebody from the outside looking in may be able to see it, but the person who that's why it's a cycle. There's a very good book I have listened to because I do a lot of audio that said It Stopped With Us. It's actually about a story of a mom and daughter, where the daughter witnessed domestic violence from the mom, and she said, never would I take somebody like my dad and all. And her husband, well accomplished and everything. That's why it says it crossed all social barriers. So, and that man became that violent person that she said she'll never take. So if you normalize the behavior, you don't see it. So because a lot of the predator, I'm not gonna say men per se, they isolate the person. So if they remove you from your family, so you lose that support, your family won't be able to see the red flags to even make you see it. That's one of the things that they do.
Isolation.
Predators isolate the victim. So if you will say, oh, why don't we move out of state and this and that, and you fell in love, you're like, he's so nice or she's so nice, and you move out of state. That's a tactic. So they remove you from your support. So then when you, and if for those who have financial gain, so now the main breadwinner, so then they're supporting you, and then they start abusing you. Where do you go? Because they remove your support system.
So I want to bring something else, and I want people to understand when we talk about domestic violence, we're not only talking about physical violence. We're talking about sexual violence. We're talking about financial violence, social violence, that isolation. I want to talk about all the ones out beyond the physical. Because what happens, I'm noticing in those relationships is that the guy says, well, I'm not even beating you. So that's not violence. But then there's the sexual violence, and then there's a financial violence.
There's emotional.
There's the emotional as well.
Yes,
the emotional probably is the biggest one because it's just small little words that are being said to you, and that destroys. And people, you just have a thin skin.
Oh no. I used to. Well, when I wrote the play, But I Love Him. Right. When I wrote that play, I did about 8 different scenarios that women have presented to me over the years, and that emotional. Oh my goodness, because the little things that he says will get you in a place that you don't feel like you're worthy. It's almost like they will make you feel not worthy of being loved, of having anybody's, it's all here.
Yes.
It's a play on your mind. And if they can get you in that place, they got you. I'm going to tell you, if they can get you emotionally spent, like, I'm not worth anything, nobody, you know what the main thing they say? Ain't nobody going to ever want you.
Yes.
If I walk away, ain't nobody going to ever want you.
And you know what's so crazy? You believe in yourself, but you still believe it. You still believe somehow that you could.
I'm telling you. And that got me because, first of all, I had been so emotionally traumatized as a kid.
Yes.
And I wanted to be loved by a man so badly. And we got to be able to, can I just say, let's just be honest. If you know that is what is happening to you, please don't allow anybody to make you feel like you're not worthy to be loved. Please don't do that.
But it's hard to do.
It is.
It is hard to
I
do
agree.
Because if you've already had childhood trauma that was never addressed, and then you already devalued yourself.
That's right.
And you already have issue with worthiness. Then you get in a toxic relationship.
Oh, that's a cocktail for disaster.
So it's going to be very hard for you to move on and to even consider that. So you would definitely need professional help.
Absolutely.
To help build you up psychologically, to make you understand you were worth more, and at that time to make a strategy and a plan so you can move forward. Because one thing that they said you never try to tell the person leave, because most of them, 50% I believe, end up dying.
Yes.
Can I put my hands?
Yes.
I'll put both hands up on that. And that's one of the main things in all the years that I've done domestic. I tell women, never tell them that you are leaving.
Yes.
Never, ever. I did that as a young woman. I thought I was doing the right thing. Tell him, that you feel like y'all need some time apart. That's what I said. I said, honey, we're going through a lot right now. Maybe I'm just going to go and stay with my friend for a couple of weeks and give you some time. And I said that, and he was like, oh, okay. That's what he said. We went to sleep that night. The next morning, I got up. I was teaching school, got dressed. I was going down the steps, and I heard him come out of the bedroom. And I looked around, and I smiled, hey, good morning. And he didn't say anything. I'm walking down the steps. He came behind me, and he touched me on my shoulder. When I turned around, pow!
Wow.
I almost passed out. I hit the wall so hard, and I was sliding down the wall because he hit me with such impact, and he was a big guy.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to get up, and pow! And everything to my head. My head busted open, blood splattering all everywhere, and I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
You understand? Because why are you hitting me? I haven't done anything.
Nothing.
I'm nothing. And so I ended up having to have stitches in my head, and I had a skull fracture that was never treated. Later on, now I have, the reason I'm bald is because of that beating.
Wow.
I have brain lesions all over my brain, and I have extreme pain. I literally have to have shots every 3 months to my head to control the pain.
Please let me know that at least this guy went to jail for something, right?
No.
He didn't.
Never went to jail.
And he probably is in another relationship.
But he did die.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he died. And I pleaded with God not to, because God told me, he said, I will give men's lives for you.
Yeah.
Well, but one thing, I mean.
Not for me.
How do we break that stigma for men like me or men that are suffering from abuse could report it as easy? Because, it's difficult for men to report abuse.
Yes, it's so difficult for men to speak up on this.
What do we have out there for the men to be able to open up?
The same thing that you have, everything that is available to women is available to men. And I had a young guy that married a drop-dead gorgeous model. She was beautiful. And she was so abusive. And the reason she was so abusive is he was so good-looking that she felt intimidated by any woman in their vicinity. And this kid would call me, and he would have scratches all on it. Beautiful kid. He was from Saudi Arabia, wealthy family. This girl would scratch his face, and he never put his hand on her.
Yeah.
Well, she was beautiful, but she had issues.
Issues with herself.
Personal stuff.
Yeah,
She did not value herself.
Absolutely.
And didn't find herself worthy. Because if you find yourself worthy and you feel that you're enough, so
then you wouldn't have to do that. But I ended up telling him, you have to call the police. You have to report it. No ifs, ands, or buts.
We have a lot going. This is a lot. This is something that we must talk about. Now we have to pivot and get another guest that's going to come and join this conversation. I want to introduce her and she can definitely come on, is Dr. Lizaire-Ganthier, a prominent leader in nonprofit work and community outreach. She's here to discuss also domestic violence. As the founder of the Pelagi Foundation, Dr. Lizaire-Ganthier has dedicated her life to providing support services to veterans, individuals with HIV and AIDS, and domestic violence survivors. With her extensive experience in the nonprofit sector and public service, Dr. Lizaire-Ganthier offers valuable insights into the issue of domestic violence. We're going to take a short little break to drink some water, so take a deep breath
hydrate.
so we can continue on this conversation.
If you have questions,
reach out
online.
That's right.
We'll be happy to answer your questions.
Absolutely.
Let's go right on the break right now. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Meli, Melo, Reginald de Atlanta. Meli, Melo, Reginald de Georgia. Ouais, m'te dans Georgia. Ouais, Meli Melo, m'te toujours fait si bon chéri l'aime blé. Yes, lundi 8-10. Meli Melo.
Are you guys hot? Do you want a fan?
Oh no, I'm good.
Oh, I was asking. I was hosting. Okay. So we're back. Like I said, I just read you a little bio for Dr. Lizaire-Ganthier, who's gonna come and join this conversation. I was just asking the ladies if they wanted a fan, some water, because this is deep and we're going deep tonight. Okay. So let's bring in Dr. Lee, so we can continue this conversation. Hello, Miss Lee. How are you doing?
Hello, Melo family. How are you guys doing?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining in this conversation. I'm sure you are hearing us with a lot of attention and you see what we're talking about. What are you thinking about what we just shared? You can just jump in this conversation and continue adding on to it.
First of all, I want to thank the Melo show staff and crew for even attempting to address such taboo issues, especially in our community. So thank you for that. And I heard all of the things. And the first thing I would like to share with everybody is the number for the domestic violence hotline. If anyone that's listening would like to write it down, again, it may not affect you, but it may, somebody might need it in the future. So it is 1-800-799-7233. 1-800-799-7233. And then also, if you are staying in a relationship because you feel like you don't have an outlet, you don't know where you're going to live, you don't know who's going to take care of you, you don't have any family in the area, you can always dial 211 from your phone in any state, any county that you live, okay? And Greater United Way will provide resources to you. You don't have to go to your pastor, like our sister was saying, I couldn't go to my pastor, he was the deacon. Please know that 211 is available. And as well, I want to, and then for the people that say, well, I'm in church, I'm a Christian, I have to, stick by my man or whatever. I'll tell you what the Bible says about that. In Proverbs 18, verse 22 says, and we all know this, he who finds a good wife finds a good thing and is receiving a favor from the Lord. So if you're receiving a favor from the Lord, you ought to know how to treat that favor. And we can turn it again to the same thing for a man, because men get abused as well. He who find a good spouse, find a good thing. And it is a favor. So it's not something that is owed to you. It is truly a favor from the Lord. And you got to know how to treat that. And to even further says in Colossians, the 3rd chapter, verse 19, because I have to push this, because so many people that are in church are staying in those type of relationships. I'm not here to do Bible study, but I'm letting you know, yes, you can break it down in scripture and say, you know what, you want to talk to me this way, and then you're gonna say, you know what, you want to talk to me this way, and you in church, I'm gonna tell you what it says in Colossians, the 3rd chapter, verse 19. Husband, love your wives and do not be harsh with them. Husbands, love your wives and you do not be harsh with them. So if you're not following that, you are now telling me it's okay for me to bounce, because you're not listening to God, because those are orders from God. So the different types of abuse, like Dr. Manouchka was saying, we had to, and I'll just say, I'm not saying any names, we had to arrest someone last Saturday because she decided that she's running a nursing home in her house and took away the wheelchair for the elderly man that she was taking care of so that he wouldn't run around the house. So she hid his wheelchair. So now that is now, what do you call it? We had
senior elder abuse.
Elder abuse. But we had to get her for criminal trespassing of taking that wheelchair. You cannot confine an elder or even anyone in a room.
Yeah.
So if that's why I tell people, you want to do nonprofit, awesome. You want to do those things, great. But have the correct things, have staffing. I'm not a doctor, although my agency has an NPI. I'm not about to start trying to do what Dr. Manouchka is doing, because you have to know what you're doing, or else you're going to go to jail.
Yeah.
And
well, that's what I
emotional.
said. The same thing too. I said, don't bring me any abused old people, and because we're friends, you're gonna go to jail because I have to report it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. As a doctor,
Because I'm
and myself
mandatory to
as a
report it.
chaplain, I am a mandated reporter, and I will have to report you. Same with my sister, especially if you're working with defects. And I know you guys have covered a lot of it already, so I just want to talk about there is a power and control wheel. Okay, there's a power and control wheel.
Yes.
So what is it? So it's not just physical, like like the Penkita was saying, physical violence, sexual. So he might say, well, he's not screaming at me, but he's holding your money. He's not screaming at me, but he's telling you, when you can make a phone call or things like that. So I'll go over this. Using male privilege. That's part of the power and control wheel. Treating her like a servant. Making all the big decisions, acting like the master of the castle, being the one who defines men's and women's roles. So that is a type of abuse. They use the children against you. Oh, I've heard that. Oh, if you leave me, if you leave me, I'm taking the kids. I had a friend of mine. His wife was abusing him. Guess what? He got full custody and she's paying child support.
That's right.
Men do not stay in a relationship because you are a man. If somebody is abusing you, I don't care if you're a man, woman, a whatever it is, whatever your sexual preference is. And I'm going to say that. Whatever your sexual preference is, whatever type of relationship you're in, if you are, in a relationship with a man, I don't care. Abuse is abuse. So definitely use those numbers.
I have a quick question for you, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Now, it is very easy to prove that somebody is abusing someone physically.
Yeah.
But what about emotionally? How do you keep track of that? How can you prove? Because you come to my house, my wife will be the best thing ever, but as soon as you're out of the door, she's
destroying you emotionally.
Yes. So how can we keep track on that, or what proof should we have for the court system as men to say, hey, you know what, this woman is really abusing me verbally?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, once your friends will start to notice certain signs. You'll start feeling depressed. You'll start withdrawing from a social interaction. You'll begin to start isolating from your friends. Oh, I used to go out, to Ole. I just decided I'm not going anymore. You'll have anxiety. Start journaling. Write those things down. Every feeling some type of way, and then guess what? And I hate to get to the worst thing that could happen. People that are emotionally abused commit suicide.
Yes.
Yes. You are correct.
988. You could text, and now you can text 911. So if they're doing, listen. I provide furniture for women that are fleeing domestic violence and things like that. I had a Zoom call with a female. She was hiding in the bedroom with her children, and this shows you how strong women can be. As she was hiding, and I could see all her tears, and she was crying and everything, the kids were knocking on the door trying to talk to their mom, and she was saying, I'm okay, yet she's talking to me.
Yeah.
So it's a burden. You have to be strong, plus on top of that, to deal with all of those things. So definitely journal and get out, because it does not get any better. And then let's talk about the after effect.
Yeah.
Stalking, that will begin to stalk you.
Yeah.
You might go get a restraining order. So, every action has a reaction, and don't feel bad when those actions that they committed against you start creating reactions against them.
So, Manouchka said something earlier. We were talking about psychological readiness, okay? Because now we are in this. People understand what it looks like to be in a situation like this. Now we want to help people start understanding it and get out. But you made a good point. Psychological readiness is a thing. Not everybody has access to support. First of all, you may not even know that you need support, right? So now what could we tell people? If we had someone right now listening to us in an abusive relationship, still lying to themselves, what could we tell that person give them?
Let me tell you about a story that happened. This was several years ago. It was when TBN was on. Everybody knows TBN.
Mm-hmm.
I was on TBN talking about domestic violence. I get a phone call the next morning from a woman that saw me on TBN, and she was telling me her story. She was brought to this country as what do you call the wives? Whatever those brides like.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he literally imprisoned her in the house. That she could not talk to anybody. She couldn't use the phone if he was not there. She could not go anywhere without his permission. And she was terrified. She got pregnant. He wanted a son. He was Japanese. He wanted a son. Do you know that he told her that she needed to kill the baby because they found out it was a girl?
Oh, my goodness.
And he was trying to beat
the baby out of her.
And she said, I cannot do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Can you please help me? So what I did was, ladies, please, men too, please make a plan. I always, please, unless it's one of those times where you just running and can't do anything, but you can plan. Make a checklist of get your paperwork, get your children's paperwork, be putting a little money aside if you can.
I see.
If you can, make a plan out. And what we did was she started gathering her little stuff, and she said, I said, well, what time does he go to work? I said, is this something you really wanted? She said, I got to get out of here. He's going to kill this baby.
Yeah.
And he went to work one day. I was sitting across the street from their house. When he left, I pulled up, she jumped in the car, whatever few little things she wanted to take, and I took her to a safe place.
Mm-hmm.
That is what, you have to use wisdom because you will lose your life messing with these people. Do you know that right now today, that was about 6 or 7 years ago, she is still in touch with me. The baby girl is beautiful.
Wonderful. Praise the
Lord.
Lord.
She was afraid of being deported, but we got her an attorney.
Yes, to give her papers.
To make sure that because of what he had done to her, she got her citizenship, her paperwork done. And so, beautiful daughter, they're fine. But you got to plan. Like I said, do not tell. I almost got killed because I'm trying to be nice. How do you be nice with somebody who want to act like they want to kill you, even if they say they love you?
That's true.
Because you're still trying to prove. You're still trying to prove that this person can love you.
You cannot tell the plan. You have to make a plan.
Make the plan.
Strategize and exit. You have to make a plan. You can't just be.
And maybe find a friend. I imagine find a support.
Some of them they don't have friends.
Some of them you don't. That's right.
So because they are isolated, and some of them they're using immigration status, as you mentioned it. If the person has immigration issues, sometimes they use that.
Yeah.
So because they use that, so that's why we're having those conversations. So if they watch TV, if they listen to podcasts, and they're like, oh, I saw this, and this is this, they write it down, and they put it somewhere where they know the person's not going to see it. Because if the person see it, they're going to get a beat down too. Because now they see that you it's true. Unfortunately, it's true. You see, I'm wearing purple.
I don't know.
Me too.
It's symbol of domestic violence.
Yes.
Okay.
Would you like to add something?
It's clearly what it is. Again, like I said, 211 is an awesome resource, especially if you don't have any family or friends. I have a friend of mine. I saw her on Friday. I was in the military. Got to work on Monday, and they said the captain wanted to speak to all of us. When we did captain's call, found out she got shot in the stomach by her boyfriend. So those things do spill out. Another prominent young lady out here, you know, he poured acid on her. It does not get any better. So again, my main thing especially is for the people in the Haitian community. Just, you know, they have a way of telling you you have to stay, or don't, please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, like someone mentioned here online here, say the pastor is telling them to stay. So if you
your pastor is not skilled and trained in how to deal with domestic violence. He may be a great theologian, but you need to find someone that can truly help you. Because what happens is, I'm sorry to say this, and you know, hey, I love Melo, and I know y'all love me, but that's one of the reasons why, you know, people in our community feel like they have to be an expert at everything. You are a pastor. Remain in your pastoral role. Allow this man or the woman to find the resource that they need. You don't need 10 meetings, 20 meetings. My father, Apostle Alex Lizaire, is watching. I remember when I was just a little girl. There was a lady that was in our church in Haiti, in one of my dad's churches in Pétionville. She was single for a very long time. And, you know, because she had separated from her husband, and everybody was telling her she needs to go back with her husband because her husband was a pastor. Well, guess what? And my dad's right here, he can tell you. They had all these meetings so that, you know, well, guess what? He bought her HIV/AIDS because he was on the down low. And I was just a little girl. I remember that we all was, back then, HIV was like this thing, like you can't really talk about it. And I remember my dad going to her house for coffee, and I thought my dad was going to die the next day. I mean, it is that serious. You don't need 10 meetings with your pastor to no. I'm sorry.
So again, for the people who are listening, we know almost half of the women are being violated right now. 41%, that's almost half. Okay. We do have the physical violence. Remember, let's say now you have a situation. We also spoke about the financial violence, right, where the person keeps your money, cannot move. Sexual violence is also a thing. You're not a sexual object to someone. So if you are also being forced to have sex without your consent, to get hurt in this act of the sexual intercourse, this is not called love. You need to start identifying those things and recognize that. And again, I'm not the advocate. I'm just putting it out there for you ladies to chime in here because this is a big topic as well.
The pattern is, you know, there's a cycle. Everybody here knows that there's a cycle. Part of the cycle, that honeymoon cycle, he could have, my ex-husband would beat me silly and then want to make love right after he got
Yes.
You know, we call that, you know, the honeymoon.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is a thing.
The honeymoon abuser will abuse you and then go purchase things for you.
Yes.
So they're really priming you, wiring you to live in that cycle of abuse and reward, abuse and reward, abuse and reward. So now you're totally confused because you're like, well, you know, and then you're dependent of that little affection, and you almost buy that type of affection from people.
Yeah, I mean, also I'm the only man on the table.
Yes.
But on the men's side, I mean, why are you not?
I don't know what it looks like.
Because the man.
Because
speak for the man.
I feel like the gang is on me.
But do men get sexually abused? But do men get sexually abused though?
Said 1 out of 7 men.
Yes.
Do men get sexually abused?
Men do get yes.
By women?
Yes. When I was, listen, I'm telling you all.
Okay. No, this is real. This is real now.
I'm telling you, growing up in New Jersey, I had a friend of mine. He wasn't a part of, there was a gang, because they had gangs. Y'all know, come on, we act like everybody been safe. There were gangs, and there was a gang of females. So they got female gang members and male gang members. Young Haitian kid, probably in his 20s. The female gang grabbed him, put him in the trunk, and they literally raped him. And he was afraid to go tell the police because he was a man.
Wow.
If you don't want to participate in the activity,
And
I
is
don't
it-
care if a man or woman.
Thank you.
It is sexual abuse.
It is sexual abuse. Please, whatever age you were, it's not great that you are 15, 12, and then a 35-year-old woman is with you. This is called rape.
Yep. And also, I had a friend that was mentally abused. His reasoning for staying, I said, well, but if you're not happy, why are you staying? He said, well, I don't want another guy to come and try to raise my 2 girls.
Oh, so he made that sacrifice.
Oh my God,
But it's a big one, Woodsie. It's a big one, Rupipa.
Yeah.
Because they want to protect their kids, and
Their
they know
kids,
they're afraid
yeah.
if they
They
leave.
I don't know.
For child, for custody and take the kid.
But it's harder for men to have the custody, though.
Yeah, but if you can show that the mother's unfit, there are men who have gained custody.
That's
Yes,
true.
but-
if we're
but-
saying that you leave that kid in a dysfunctional and toxic environment for that child to continue that cycle, you have to break the cycle.
So to finish what I just mentioned, when I told him that, I said, okay, you can plan to live, with your daughter. He said, man, he's a Haitian. He said that in Creole as well, too. He said, yo, this lady is so crazy. You know what she told me? She told me she's going to hurt herself, put something on herself for the police to arrest him. You say,
Yes.
what do you think is going to happen?
You know what I would have done? I would have made sure I have a tape. And whenever she has that conversation, it's right there.
I've had men do that.
When they come up and down and you just play that tape, who do you think they're gonna go after?
Yeah, one of my friends got custody of his 2 kids, and what saved him, because she called the cops saying she was getting abused in the house. What saved him is the camera, the front door camera that captured everything of her throwing herself and doing things. If not, he would have totally got arrested.
Yeah.
So this is part of the plan we were talking about. You need to have some time to reflect and say, okay, what are the things I can put in place to protect me in this situation so I can actually get
To
out?
protect the man, because once you call the police and say your husband is abusing you,
Oh, yes.
he's going to go.
He's going to, yeah.
Yeah, but
So-
not. That's the way it used to be. That is not the way it is now. They are arresting women just as much as they are. Are you?
And I'm happy about.
You know about that part. They are arresting women and they're going to jail. You can think you just go cry, hey, and he hit me, and no, it doesn't wash. It doesn't wash anymore. It used to be like that. The moment a woman called, they automatically said the man was at fault. Not anymore.
So, ladies, I really want to push this further. Okay, please go ahead, Dr. Ganthier.
I'll say that as a chaplain, when we have domestic violence calls, if I'm on a ride along, we always call for backup. So there's always at least 2 police cars, because you want to, because they're gonna talk to both parties to see what's going on. They're not gonna fall for the yellow fabo and all of that, because now, the victims advocates from the County, they know women are just as crazy.
Yep.
And that last time he went to jail, the woman finally went to jail. You know how?
Oh,
Because-
so the cop
He
situation.
didn't have the phone, but the cops questioned the kid that was in the house, the children. They took them in a different room so they don't get intimidated by mom or dad. They actually spilled the bean on mom. I said, wow.
And here's what I would like to say. If you are a man and you're feeling like because of your ego and you don't want people to know that you're being abused, I want to ask you this. If this is happening, imagine what's happening to you. If it's happening to one of your daughters, your sisters, or a close female friend, how would you react?
Thank you.
I would react the same way for yourself.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what I was going to do. Is we know the basic things to do. You can call 211. You can call 1-800-799-7339. You can make a plan, right? So now let's push it further. What is that one thing that you can tell? I really love what you just said, Dr. Ganthier. That little thing, that's extra thing that you said, that giving people, men and women, advice. What that extra, because you know what's in their hearts. You know how it feels. You've seen it, you've worked with it. What is that extra thing we can tell to that person who's listening today, going through that? Certainly we have people listening, going through it. What's that little thing we can tell them? Outside of those basic, call the phone number, get a plan.
Here's one thing I can say. You're loved, Because a lot of
Yes.
time when they're being abused, they don't feel love.
Yeah.
You love, and God loves you.
Yeah.
That's from
Yeah.
my part.
Thank you. Thank you.
And please, there you can talk to somebody. There you have to find the right person to talk to and to share. But it's like when women call me, it's like when we're done with the conversation and they're crying, they said, I feel like a weight is lifted off of me because somebody knows now. I've been able to share it with someone. So I tell people, be a listening ear and keep your mouth closed sometimes. A lot of times when women call me, I don't say anything. I just and they will put it all out there because they've held it for so long. You understand? And felt like no one would listen. That when they get that chance, when I tell you they will talk an hour and a half and just keep and I feel better now that at least somebody knows what I'm going through. Be a listening ear. You don't have to, hey, you girl, why you being, that's what I hate about women sometimes.
Yes, toxic positivity.
You don't know what it's like, so you have no idea what she's going through. So if you just say, girl, you so stupid. Yes.
Don't compare your stories. That's not why they call.
Ma'am, that's right.
You know what? I got a headache too. You know what?
Yeah.
Come on.
So we're talking about this is for all of us, people who are in the abusive relationship, but also for us as friends. This is what we're saying here. Let's practice active listening. Let's not judge. Let's not come with solutions. Oh, so that was your thing. Okay, Manouchka, go for it.
That shows you we're listening.
Manouchka, go for it. So what would you say? What's your thing?
So I think many of those women or men, they have to do a lot of work in themselves to understand that they are loved. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Because if you feel that you are not loved, so you're going to accept everything and anything. That's the first thing. And then for them to understand that they matter.
Yes.
Because if you don't understand that you matter, then you can go under the rug. You will accept everything. So first, the self-love has to be there first.
Yeah.
Because if there's no self-love, then you cannot accept anybody to love you. So the self-love needs to come first.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. Woodsy, what are you thinking?
Oh, boy.
Especially when you're thinking about from men, right? Like, what could, again, you're a man, you're going through this.
Well,
the shame.
But you know what I've also noticed? Being Haitian. In the Haitian
Plus being Haitian. Yes.
Being in Haiti, for some people, it's normal. That my husband
they normalize it.
Yeah, they normalize it for us.
do.
Because this lady was giving me a story. She said, when I was in Haiti, my husband used to beat me. When I called the cops or police that used to live next door, he said, well, you know what the cop told me? Well, your husband is trying to correct your behavior. Why are you calling me?
Wow. Not only that, even people around them, because they're toxic. Because I hear even women in our own culture will say, "Oh, on baguette bagay li do fe."
Yes.
You have no right
to say that you deserve that.
Exactly.
You do not deserve it.
Who cares that they? I was 20 years old because I'm that ride or die friend. I've come from a long way, but I was that ride or die friend, and I have my friend. We have not spoken for a long time, and I remember while I was 22 years old, she called me because her husband decided to pull her and beat her up in public street in Brooklyn, and because she knew I got her, so she called me. She said, crying, and said, he just beat me up in book, and I'm like, let me talk to that sucker. Oh yeah, I had said some cuss. I cussed and I cussed and I cussed. I did.
You blessed them.
Oh yes, I blessed them. I did because she knew I had her back.
Yeah, yeah.
And because she was the first person I met when I came to New York, and she was the first person we met back in middle school. So she knew I had.
So having that strong friend really, really helps because she probably felt safe. Like you were probably her safety, her safe haven. Me, what I would say about this, again, I heard everybody, and as a woman, you're just involved in this, whether you want to or not. What I've recognized that is really prevalent in people who go through this is they're ridden with shame, guilt, and fear. And those three feelings hold you back. And the moment that you can recognize, basically saying neither shame nor fear nor guilt should keep you in any toxic situation, should hold you back from doing what is good for you. If these are not good reasons to stay, shame, fear, or guilt, we have to be able to overcome them despite those feelings.
Let me tell you, over the years that I've been doing, working in the domestic violence, I've had 6 women to die, to be killed. And when I tell you the pain that I felt, because it's like, could I have said something else? Could I have done? But sometimes people, it takes a woman sometimes 6 to 7
times
before she will go back, because I did it. And I know a lot of the women that I work with, same thing. They go back and go back. But what about that one time that you don't get to go back?
Yeah.
That's what I tell women.
Yes.
It may be that one time that you will not walk away. And when I tell you the pain that I felt when those 6 women were killed, it is unbelievable. It's real. Don't say he won't do that. Oh, he just talks. He's not going to put his hand on me. Those very women said that very thing to me, and they ended up being killed.
Wow.
It's not a game.
Can I just share this really quickly about the shame part?
Yes.
You might not believe in God, but you believe in something, right? So that's my job as a chaplain, whatever, higher power, whatever. You believe in something. In order, I want everyone that's hearing or listening to me to just capture this. The Bible says, those who believe in me will not be put to shame.
Yes.
So no man can put you to shame.
Yeah.
No man on earth and no woman on earth walk with your head held high. Because the one who created you will not allow anyone to put you to shame.
Thank you. Thank you. Amen. Right. Amen to that. Ladies, we had a great panel today.
Lord, thank you
it was
so
informative.
Much.
It was, and we went deep. We went profound. We did not hold back. I'm hoping everybody learned something today. I'm hoping that now we are all involved, whether we are victims, whether we are not victims. Because if we're not victims, we have a friend or someone we know likely going through this right now. So we are all involved, and we all have an active role to play. What I learned, what I took away from this today, is to listen more and stop trying to fix, and also stop trying to compare and bring, oh, me too, da. Let's listen more, and we are effectively going to be able to help people more. So, ladies, thank you so much. It was beautiful. I'm hoping we get a chance. I'm sure we're going to find a reason to bring y'all back for sure.
Yes, definitely.
And then
great panel.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
We're not done with you now.
But back, Dr. Ganthier. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a wonderful night.
All right, everybody. We'll get back to you in a little bit.
We're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back. Thank you.
70 691 35 33 ou à le visiter notre website www.egflogistique.com pour toute information sur Compéred et en pilote produit haïtien.
Meli Melo, Reginald de Atlanta. Meli Melo, Reginald de Georgia. Ouais, de Georgia. Ouais, Meli Melo, on toujours fait si bon chez Willem Blé. Yes. Lundi 8-10, Meli Melo.
Atlanta, we're rolling out the red carpet for this November 9th. Association Production of Georgia and Final Touch presents a Election Week wrap-up. Get ready for the Queen, Lucita Guillaume. Michelle will perform live Saturday, November 9th at Essence Nightclub. Along with with the International Club King, DJ Stacks, DJ Marjo Mix, and DJ Final. Also, get ready for Vanessa Desiree. Saturday, November 9th, inside of Essence Nightclub, 5439 Riverdale Road. It will also be a birthday celebration for Judell. Sound provided by DJ Nini. We're closing out election week at Essence Nightclub. VIP packages are available now, where advanced tickets are only $50. Tickets are available now at Eventbrite.
Grand-papa, compagnie manger officielle, diaspora haïtienne. 100% haïtien. Son compagnie qui a fait effort pour faire économie Haïti, maman Haïti, brassé. Et puis grand-papa, un paquet de différents produits de qualité, blé ak pitimi, pour moun qui fait sik yo, maï moulin. Et puis pois Congo, si pois Congo jaune là, c'est le grand-papa gagne qui sont Haïti tête droite. Lalo, Jonjon, Jumango, et puis superstar grand-papa, du riz grand-papa, basmati, du riz jasmine, c'est pas du riz chemical qui fait moun malade là non? Grand-papa, oui, yon qualité sans pareil. Ou ka imiter, mon pape jamais gagné. Grand-papa, oui, et puis nous kon bagay là déjà, wap manger en pépon à grand-papa.
Pour plus d'informations, relez-nous dans 866 472 67 26 ou bien visitez-nous sur www.grandpampan.com.
All right.
Welcome back, guys. We just went deep, right? We just went deep on this topic. If you have not had the chance, please go back. If you love this show, please give us some love. You know, go on YouTube, follow our page, leave a comment on YouTube, leave a comment on Facebook, show us some love so we can continue growing the platform. So,
yeah. So the next segment will be what? Will be political
segment, which is important. Elections is coming up. We have a few more, 20-something days right before the election. Mm-hmm. And so we're bringing in this little political segment with Martin Claude, who's going to come and give us some good information, keeping us abreast of what's happening and what's going on so we can... So, ladies, how do you feel about this voting situation?
I know you may have a lot to say.
Well, I direct a lynching reenactment from 1946. I've directed for 17 years.
Because I need to plug in with you because it seems like you have really interesting content.
Exactly. And it had to do with voting. 4 African Americans were killed in 1946. Because the then governor, Eugene Talmadge, made a statement. His platform he ran on was Negroes, he said that word, Negroes may vote in this election because the federal government says so. But if you reelect me, this is the governor of Georgia at that time, he said, but if you reelect me, I will make sure that Negroes don't vote in the next election.
Wow.
And he was pushing people to intimidate black people from voting that year. Several were killed, including my 4, the Malcolms and the Dorseys, 2 couples, and Maceo Snipes, who was a returning soldier. He was killed, and several other blacks around Georgia were killed because of that governor.
Who said what he said. So
that's why.
So to me, that's why when I hear things like this, we must vote. How can we decide not to vote?
Well, that's what I always said. The very first thing I always said to people, I said, there are so many people who look like you or me had to die to get this right. So if people die for it, so why forfeit it? You know? So you don't understand, it wasn't given to you.
People die for it. Just for that reason alone, I always cast my ballot. Yeah, because I think it's almost irresponsible not to at this point. And especially if you're black and if you're a woman, you have the double duty to go and vote.
Yeah. Usually I tell them as well too that if you don't vote, it's like you're voting for the other party.
Yeah. You said you're voting against yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. Because I mean voting is something that you have to take seriously. There's a lot of things you can change by voting. Absolutely. It's not for the presidency only.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Your local elections are extremely important.
Direct correlation
to all of us
and
because
effect,
because we are right here. And you know, I'm not gonna say anything.
Like what? No, please go for it. This is Meli Melo. This is the Meli Melo show. Remember, again, one of the real important things that we learned in the last couple of shows when it comes to voting is when you're gonna pull up your ballot, you're not only gonna see Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. You're gonna see a whole list of other people. So try to understand who these people are ahead of time, so that way when it's time for you to vote, you're going out there with confidence, knowing that you can cast your ballot, and you're not like now trying to just like cheat on a test, like just do anything, right?
And when people vote too, they have to understand why they're voting, what kind of economic empowerment, what kind of where you are as a community, whatever policies, how is it gonna affect your community? So sometimes people vote based on faith. People vote based on economic individualisms rather than what's going to affect their entire collective community. And I caution people to do that, because particularly when you have a particular group with certain narratives, and then you remove yourself because you're not in that particular situation, but look at your collective community. How is it going to impact, those policies going to impact your community?
Exactly.
Wow.
That's really good. So do we already have Martin on?
No, yet we're having some issues, but
okay.
We can keep on talking about voting. And also what I've noticed the past few days that happened to a few of my friends, and also to Martin as well too. I've been checking my voting registration on the website. It's just fine.
It's fine for you, okay.
After a while, she checked. She couldn't find her name. What happened is that they put her maiden name that she never used instead of her last married name. So she had to go back and change. There was a lot of changes that happened. So I think we have Martin. We're gonna bring Miss Martin Claude.
Yes, and for people who don't know Martin, because we keep saying because we know Martin, but let's give a little introduction about Martin, right? So Martin, yeah. Don't hate Woodsy. Okay. Martin gained valuable political. Oh, we have we have some echo going on.
Yeah. Can you hear?
Okay. Yes. Now we're fine. So just a quick introduction for people who don't know Martin, okay? Martin Claude, president of Saint Martin Events, recent candidate for state representative of Georgia. Martin gained valuable political experience through her internship at the state capital of Georgia, where she worked closely with state representative and contributed to the development of key policies. Martin's involvement in multiple political campaigns has given her hands-on experience in the electoral process and grassroots organizing. Martin also completed a rigorous Capital Women training, which further deepened her understanding of legislative processes and empowered her to take on leadership roles in the political arena. It's important for me to introduce her because she's going to give you valuable information, so you know it's coming from a credible source. Martin, how are you doing this evening? Oh, so we see your lips. Okay, now we can hear you. Oh, your sound is not coming out, Martin. Is it you or is it on your end? Can you check on your end?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Now we can hear you.
Okay, is it better?
Yes,
okay.
much better.
How many devices you have open?
Just one.
Okay. There's a feedback somewhere. I don't know if it's your earpiece or.
No.
Okay.
No,
Okay. Go ahead.
Just one device.
Okay.
Okay,
So
go for it, Martin. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Once again, I'm going to just give you concerning voting.
Martin, the sound went away again.
Are you using your telephone, your laptop?
Maybe the mic.
Are you using your phone?
Okay, what about now?
Yes,
okay,
perfect.
Much better.
Okay. So now, just a few little tips on voting. As we all know, the dates for going to be on November 5th. So what I want to go over today is the little information. Am I clear?
No.
No, it's not clear.
Okay. Are you?
Okay, I think I see what's going on.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, close all the apps that you have open.
Okay. Better.
Okay, much better.
That's better.
Is it better?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, now better, right?
Yep.
Okay, so no, what I was saying is, as we all know, that our voting is very essential, is very important, and it's going to be on November 5th. What I wanted to discuss today is, usually sometimes when we go to vote, everyone is just focusing on going in and just voting or for the president, okay? That is not the only, those are not the only candidates that are there for people to vote for. We have to also focus on the other candidates that are also part of being the candidates parts of being part of the on the ballot. Okay, so the easiest way to go and see it, everyone should go on and that's the easiest way to go and see. You could actually see your ballot, the ballot that you're going to be voting on. Okay, go to Georgia My Voter page. Okay. My voter page, you're going to put your first initial, your last name, and it's going to ask you 2 or 3 other questions. You're going to go in, and then you're going to view it, and it's going to when it opens up that page, it's going to see sample ballot. And when you go on the sample ballot, you'll actually be able to see what you're going to see live and in person when you go to vote. Okay, the first one is going to say for President of the United States. It's going to say, of course, Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, Chase Oliver, and on and on and on. Okay, then you're going to have the clerk of the state. Then you're going to have on and on, the sheriff, okay, state representative, state senate, state county commission. It is very important for you guys, if you know this, just go on this and see. That way, when you see it now beforehand, before November 5th, you will be able to go and research these people's names, okay? But when you once you research their name, their plan, and what they're all about, then that would give you an idea of who you would want to vote for. Of course, on the show, we're not going to tell you who to vote for and who you should pick and who's the best at this and that. You could see for yourself by going on My Voter page. Once again, that would give you all of the information that you need, all of the deadlines, everything that you need to know, absentee ballot, mailing ballot, all of the things that you need to know are actually on that site. Once again, the important thing tonight is for me to actually have taken you to a place of where to find the information of the sample ballot. Once again, go into that. You will be able to see every candidate that you would want to vote for. Research them, and that would give you an idea of when you go to vote on November 5th, who to vote for.
Wonderful. Martine, thank you so much. Always valuable and always on point. We're going to have you again definitely next week and every week until we get to the election, so we can give people all the resources that they need so they can be ready for the election on November 5th. Thank you so much, Martine.
Okay.
And
We're going to take a quick
one
break.
other thing, we don't have to wait for November 5th.
Thank you. We don't have to wait for November 5th because there's early voting.
October 15th.
That's correct. And that page will tell you all of that information. Thank you, Manouchka. That is correct.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, thank you, Martine. Have a good evening.
Martine, you're going to be back for the HMI portion as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'll
Wonderful.
stay on.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Martine. I'll see you in a little bit.
See you in a little bit.
Okay.
Moi, c'est Darlene Joseph. Moi, son realtor, real estate broker avec Inspirational Homes dans Georgia. Moi, j'ai un pile année depuis m'a aidé moun acheter, vendre et investir dans kay. Yo relem realtor communauté. Si ou Florida, ou pensez pour venir Georgia, il y a un pile option pour vous. Tant qu'une option dans la communauté ça que nous prenons. Nous connaissons que Georgia a un gros kay. Si vous pensez pour un gros kay par là, contactez Darlene Joseph avec Inspirational Home à 678 613 75 76. Encore, c'est dans 678 613 75 76. Ou capable de joindre moi sur tous les réseaux sociaux, sur Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, moi là comme Sold by Darlene. Contactez-moi et m'appelez-moi joindre Kai Paola.
Pour qui ça va faire coller comme ça?
Ma commère, moi fatigué, moi envie de dormir, mais dormir pas qu'à prendre.
C'est pas coller pour faire. c'est un jicon campé red qui solution.
Comment ça?
Jicon campé red là, c'est un jicon naturel qui descend fatigue dans corps pour sommeil blayi sou. Et puis faire ou lever neuf, coup 9 points.
Pas qu'on est non comme.
C'est lui même passé poté pour.
Comme li goût. Côté map joindni.
Et les 470 691 35 33 ou à le visiter notre website www.egflogistique.com pour toute information sur Compéred et en pilote produit haïtien.
Meli Melo, Reginald de Atlanta. Meli Melo, Reginald de Georgia. Ouais, je suis dans Georgia. Ouais, Meli Melo, je suis toujours fatigué chez Willem Blé. Yes, lundi 8-10. Meli Melo.
Meli Melo, tous les lundis 8h-10h. Meli Melo is the most listening to show in USA. They go live on YouTube and Facebook. Meli Melo est présenté par Penkita, Rupipa et Bouboule. Soyez branchés. Meli Melo, tous les lundis 8h-10h. Meli Melo is the most listening to show in USA. They go live on YouTube and
OK. Donc là, nous retournons avec nous là pour segment. Nous allons faire segment sport là. On nous pas fait segment sport là parce que les Don Diego pas là, en fin de compte. Mais c'est bien bon parce que nous on parle qui est quand même assez chargé. Nous parler de nous vraiment aller loin le domestic violence là. Nous prenons si temps pour nous te parler de police d'école là. Nous parlons jamber sous dernier segment nous qui parle HMI.
That's correct.
Pas vrai? Et nous gain pas oublier aujourd'hui nous gain Flav cap vini. Oui, nous avons Flav qui va venir parce que nous avons un événement. Nous sommes semaine dernière, nous avons interviewé Fatima parce que nous avons un événement là, High Lounge là, October 25th. Et nous avons Fatima avec Flav, donc je dis à nous avons Flav. Mais avant tout, c'est segment HMI là, donc il faut nous parler de programmes qui vont venir. Nous connaissons que nous avons 3 belles programmes qui vont venir. Nous avons un ballon blanc avec Kai. Donc, moun qui pas contre musique Kai la al écouter ou comprendre on vient le programme ça pour écouter Kai qui va chanter pour écouter KV qui va chanter.
D'autant plus Kai a une nouvelle composition qu'il fait dehors avec
oui, toléré, c'est ça m'a dit nouvelle musique là. Donc nous avons Kai qui va chanter nouvelle musique là. Donc please aller le programme là mais tout nous avons Wichal qui va venir tout. Donc nous là nous ka écouter ni Wichal qui va chanter musique là, ni Kai qui va chanter musique là. Après ça, bien entendu, nous avons classe. Nous avons classe. Bon, ouais, qu'on y a là, il fait que ce dim là, Don Diego, class this baby. Nous avons classe qui vini, nous avons Kai, et puis nous avons Wichel. C'est-à-dire, nous vraiment un agenda chargé. Et si qu'on y a là, avant nous prendre toute balle ça, nous avons October 25th, c'est pas vrai. Kai là, c'est pas vrai. Kai là, c'est en 20 et High Lounge là.
OK.
Oui.
Et nous parlons Don Diego avec nous là de Haïti, qui donne. Nous avons un petit problème avant, nous sommes bien contents de là, nous avons 2 minutes pour résumer tout ça. Par contre, si vous êtes capable de jouer match ça pour 2 minutes, on va obligé.
On va obligé de nous tout highlight. Je connais donne moi pas, on connaît pas de faire sport dans ce maintenant, c'est on tape temps pour devenir bon sport. Donc bon, on 2 minutes là, vous me ça.
Bonsoir Bouboule frère et nous saluons tous les amis Meli Melo un peu partout à travers le monde. Pendant qu'on parle là, il y a Haïti qui a joué la Kayaouba. Haïti a mené 3 goals à 2. Je me rappelle pour nous, c'est match retour là, puisque vendredi, Haïti était calé à Aruba 3 goals à 1 dans le match aller. match retournant li a joué actuellement, mais bon me dit nous que match retournant te doit jouer Port-au-Prince. Mais à cause problème qui gagne en Haïti, match ça a joué la Kayaouba et chaque match Haïti joué que le te doit jouer en Haïti. Il pas joué en Haïti là, je de l'autre côté. Haïti obligé de payer pays ça $10,000 américains pour que yo louer Haïti stade là. Pour qu'à louer pour nous jouer, nous obligés de payer ça $10,000 américains, mais Haïti a mené sur 3-2. OK. Dossier aujourd'hui, c'est que pour les gens qui aiment Real Madrid, pour les gens qui aiment capitaine de la France, Kylian Mbappé, monsieur a un problème. Kylian Mbappé, et réalité dit que il demandé pour monsieur congé pour ne pas jouer pour la France dans le match que la France doit jouer devant Israël, match que la France a les 4-1 et jeudi en tout la France a joué avec Belgique, un match que la France a les 2-1, 2 goals de Randall Colomwani. Mbappé pas joué, il va monsieur vacances. Michel Mbappé a passé vacances là en Suède du côté de l'Europe. Dans l'hôtel côté le descendant, il y a une demoiselle qui accusait Mbappé comme quoi monsieur t'a fait viol sous lui.
Oui.
Et la police, ils ont ouvert une enquête et Mbappé a quitté la Suède, il est rentré en France. Demoiselle la est à l'hôpital, ils ont fait pour lui prélèvement ADN, ça nous est le DNA États-Unis. Ils ont fait garder qui lésion qui gagne. Mais comme pour les amis Meli Melo, pinga nous confondre en viol avec agression sexuelle. Si on est dans la rue, ou bali on tape dans derrière lui, ou manger sans le pavler, ou fait une agression sexuelle.
OK.
Là où fait viol, c'est là que bagay l'arrivé dans pénétration avec sans consentement moun ou fait menace sous lui, ou fait violence sous lui, ou contraindre ni faire un bagay que le pavler, de pour te pénétrer, c'est viol qu'on fait. Mais si ou fi a passé ou man école ou dit rat qui sous lian ou nuil, ça nous est l'équipe fait partie de harcèlement sexuel tout ça c'est agression qu'on fait sous lit. Mais depuis que pénétration, c'est viol qu'on fait. Nous même qui haïtiens, si ou fait un petit monde qui peut gagner 15 ans ou aller dans col ou pénétrer col, ou fait 15 ans prison en Haïti. Mais si tu fais 15 ans jusqu'à 18 ans, ou fait 10 ans prison. C'est article 278 dans le code pénal haïtien qui parle ça. Pour Kylian Mbappé, est-ce que le témoin est fille en vrai? Nous pas connaît.
Donc c'est agression sexuelle pour lui-même.
Non,
Kylian,
si dit même. Si
son viol, d'accord. Il fait DNA, OK.
Il a fait DNA pour lui, pour regarder, puis il a dit qu'il y a une lésion dans la partie, quand nous connaissons, qui montre que M. Chiffon est devant pour te pénétrer la violence. Question, pour nous tout comme ça, après ça, passer plusieurs monde dans le sport, qui toujours allent dans l'autre pays, faire un de bagailles, pour qui ça le passe avec madame, bon, je ne madame, tout comme ça, après on filme avec, ou pas besoin de faire bail ça, pour ça l'image. Je ne vais pas dire plus, l'autre lundi, n'a pas parlé plus de temps.
Merci beaucoup, Don Diego. Comme si
merci, bonne nouvelle ouverte.
Ils sont belles, bonne nouvelle ouverte, nous pas connaître. Donc merci beaucoup. N'a parlé plus longuement semaine prochaine et puis avec caméra tout parce que nous aimons le visage là.
Avec good night, guys.
D'accord.
Atlanta, we're rolling out the red carpet for this November 9th. Association Production of Georgia and Final Touch presents a Election Week wrap-up. Get ready for the Queen, Lucita Guillaume. Lucita will perform live Saturday, November 9th at Essence Nightclub. Along with the International Club King, DJ Stacks, DJ Marjo Mix, and DJ Final. Also, get ready for Vanessa Desiree. Saturday, November 9th, inside of Essence Nightclub, 5439 Riverdale Road. It will also be a birthday celebration for Judell. Sound provided by DJ Nini. We're closing out Election Week at Essence Nightclub. VIP packages are available now, where advanced tickets are only $50. Tickets are available now at eventbrite.com. For info and table reservations, call 617-201-0321 or 404-955-2345. This is an event you can't miss. Atlanta, we're rolling out the red...
Alright, donc là, ça c'est vrai segment HMI là, que me déguette introduit déjà, avec trois programmes, c'est que nous voyons que clip yo passé. Chaque remarquez que Meli Melo très structuré. Donc, nous avons des segments spécifiques pour nous parler de des bagages qui spécifiques. Donc là, ce segment HMI là, nous avons dit qu'il y a 3 belles balles qui pourraient passer. Il y a Kai, il y a Witchell, il y a Class. Et en plus de ça, il y a October 25th. Il y a Fatima avec Flav, iLounge. Et nous prenons Flav là avec nous là pour parler avec nous de programme là. Pas oublier nous avons Fatima la semaine dernière, moun qui te manqué épisode là ou ka regarder et puis là nous pourrons parler avec Flav. Mais avant tout, vous dit nous besoin commencer parler d'un bagage qui était passé dans la communauté Atlanta que nous pourrons l'adresser sous panel là avant que nous passer sous Flav.
Définitivement parce que bon, j'en ai dit chose ça son show Meli Melo lié. Meli Melo veut dire tout bail là-dedans. OK, pas sans exception. Meli Melo c'est pas on police lié. Mais c'est un show qu'il a pour passer de pour son bagage qui passe dans la communauté à nous là. Si nous pas qu'à parler, nous pas qu'à parler de aucun autre bagage encore.
Très bien.
Vous comprenez? So, et son bagage qui vraiment arrivé dans la communauté, bien entendu, qui arrivé une promenade DJ que nous gagnons et gagne un monde sur Facebook qui fait, un commentaire, pas qu'à dire commentaire, qui juste mettait un bagage sous Facebook qui pas fait un pile monde plaisir. Bien entendu. Tu vois? Parce que dans la situation de la communauté noire, ou bien moi-même personnellement, l'homme gon ami, si me font bagay qui mal, faut qu'à dire me fait mal. Faut qu'à dire ou dit parce que me gagne ça. C'est ça fait que l'homme monde font bagay qui passe à tout, faut le caguer un ami qui râle les oreilles dit au compte ça arrivé, ça fait à ça là réel pas bon non? Parce que toujours mettez ça dans tête tout. C'est ça arrivé petit garçon que le monde cite non dit tout ça. How would you feel?
Oui, détruire caractère mon là en fait. Image mon là.
So,
c'est comme si on violence verbale en fait.
Exactement. Son bagay que vraiment vrai pour nous parler de ça et ça fait nous plus parler de ça tout c'est parce que mon en question que indiqué dans ça mon demandé par exemple pour l'expliquer bon parle parce que c'est normal faut entendre tous les deux bords. Vous comprenez? C'est peut-être ça Meli Melo aujourd'hui là, son bagage que nous t'avons parlé depuis 3 semaines de ça, tu viens un petit problème technique, ben aujourd'hui là, nous voulons mettre pour tout reste, j'ai compris dire. Vous comprenez? Nous disons que Dr. Banika a fait un bon tirage sur ça tout. Vous comprenez vraiment politique, vraiment dit que non
mais nous allons faire balle contre nous allons faire balle contre la son titise na bay moun yo nous allons prendre Flav kounya nous allons rester sous soif nous parce que chaque nous c'est vraiment écoute c'est vraiment comme si un sujet qui li malheureux mais nous pas laisser utiliser opportunité pour nous comme nous capable aider communauté à grandir mais nous allons prendre pause pas pause nous allons prendre un petit pivot parce que nous allons prendre Flav rapidement
artiste la mandé pour le monter
c'est ça donc nous allons prendre artiste là après ça n'a continuer conversation locale là.
Ou bien n'a pas pause. Quittez moun yo respirer, quittez aller les l'autre monde pour dire mais ça Meli Melo va parler oui là, brancher rapide.
C'est ça.
So nous mettre faire ça pendant ce temps.
Oui, quittez famille Maxime parce que me connaît. C'est pardonner, c'est mais pas tout ça. M'abandonner la société parce que me connaît. C'est pardonner. Malgré ça ou pas comprendre ou vraiment ou criminel sous qu'à quitter l'amour ça faut criminel chérie.
Hello. Hi Mr. Flav.
Hello guys, hello everyone. Hi. Melo qui branché ça va fait.
En forme. Flav, paraît trop près pour nous caouer.
Faut tu monter caméra tout petit yes.
There you go.
That's it.
Okay, you're looking great.
Puis rapide mon cher, merci beaucoup. Bienvenue sur plateau Meli Melo. N'apprécie ça en pile. Et j'en dis et j'aime t'ai dit tout à l'heure là, mon Dieu pas qu'attendre et pour non là qui parle performer.
Avant aller plus loin.
Oui, non.
Avant d'aller, je salue de tout qui est sous panel là, et tout le monde qui est dans le studio, tout le monde qui branche, qui regarde, qui peut regarder encore. Et c'est un plaisir pour nous dans le show Meli Melo. Et nous allons faire un bel parler, nous allons faire parler de programme 25 là, et nous le bas et tout.
Et puis, en fait, bien aimé les vidéos qu'on fait avec Fatima. Ou font vidéo avec Fatima, c'est ça. Oh, vidéo vraiment hot.
Thank you very much. That's a feel.
Il y a un kidnapping pour Atlanta, attention.
Quel est ça?
My
Oh! Flav, tell us, do you have a new album?
As a matter of fact, well, the album came out back in February, so did I get
it's still new.
Pour Saint-Valentin, c'est vraiment 14 février, et so far, bon, you know, bien sûr que l'année est presque finie, but I'm very pleased, very satisfied avec, you know, reaction, you know, for the songs, you know, so yeah, it was my first solo album, so que vraiment excité parce que, you know, I get to put myself out there, you know, be doing everything on my own, so c'est vraiment une belle expérience.
So tell us a little bit, I mean, for people who don't know the album, et moi, par contre, toute musique, forcément, do you have any artists that are featured on your album?
Oh, for sure. Et moi, il y a Fatima, of course, et qui sur l'album là. Et moi, il y a Baki qui sur l'album là. Il y a Master Brain qui sur l'album là. Kata, of course, Pachou. Moi, il y a une musique que je fais avec une Nigérienne qui est les slow, les musiques les slow, c'est un afro, et qui sont une musique qui est vraiment différente de tout ça qu'on fait déjà. Et yeah, je pense que c'est artiste qui sur l'album là.
Okay, all right. And so, I don't know, is it your first time in Atlanta? Est-ce que c'est fort in Atlanta?
Oh, non, I mean, Gabel toujours in Atlanta.
C'est vrai, Gabel vient en Atlanta, vraiment, il était là, Gabel, c'est vrai.
Oui, exactement.
Mais quand il y a là, solo l'autre gens à venir.
Oui, exactement, solo bas différent. C'est pour la première fois que je joue à Atlanta, pour moi, qui sont, you know, nos différents formats, and I'm very excited for that.
Format, ça vraiment, on peut être vraiment content, comme si c'est tellement belle ambiance, vibe là, bon, et je pense qu'on même avec Fatima, nous avons une vibe qu'il faut pour iLounge là, so you're gonna love it, it's gonna be hot.
Combien de musique va venir sur l'album là?
Et bon, parce qu'on a fait avec un peu de musique sur l'album, on va parler de tout le détail net parce que on fait des déplacements pour pratiquer et puis on va venir regarder ça. J'aime dire là, c'est pour la première fois que on va performer dans le format avec Fatima et que I'm very excited, I'm looking forward to it, and she's an amazing artist, man. So, j'attends vraiment pour mon enjoy dans soirée ça. So, I've got pile musique, I've got pile ancienne musique, dans nouveau musique avec Fatima tout. So, it's gonna be crazy. I can't wait.
Manouchka, do you have any questions for Flav?
No.
Okay, no, that's fine. Because I do have another one.
Like I'm trying to.
I do have another one though. Are you still part of Gabel ou bien c'est juste Flav?
Yes. I'm still part of the band. Just, you know, it's something you know, as an artist, sometimes, you know, you have to put yourself out there. So, c'était toujours un rêve pour sortir. Parce que l'on jazz, c'est pas tout. Jazz comparé en ligne. Par contre, le par exemple, pour faire une musique que moi j'aime qui pas forcément comparé, you know, et même sur l'album moyen, les musiques que j'aime, pas comparé tout. So, mais lorsqu'on jazz, you have to, you know, there's a line that you have to follow, no sense. But yeah, Gabel, sorry, désolé, sorry. Yeah, je ne toujours dans Gabel, mais c'est tout simplement développer un album solo pour me express myself entirely me. So yeah, that's the reason why I did that.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of artists do that. Like they are in a band, but then they step on the side and then they just do their own thing.
Est-ce que moun yo ap katande une petite musique Gabel tout?
Oh, c'est sûr. Non, c'est sûr. Nous allons jouer pour moun qui aime pas faire petit yo.
Musique ça, moi, je pense écouter chaque jour. Musique ça, comme si musique ça apprend. Et lyrics yo.
Moun qui aime écouter Kem, qui aime aussi mélodie. Après, je suis dans ces musiques ça, again, it's gonna be a beautiful night, man. I cannot wait.
So, do you write your own songs?
Yeah.
That is correct. Yes, I do write my own songs, and also we also do avec l'autre tout. Mais c'est sûr, man. Mais on écrit et puis il y a l'autre qui écrit tout, fait correction. So yeah, so it's doing a song is like, you know, it's a team effort. So toujours vraiment, même si m'écrit, really l'autre musicien dit check ça. Moi souvent c'est what do you think about that? And they say I like that. I'll charge ça. So it's like you know, it's a group effort.
Mais si vous arrivez dans une position comme ça, par exemple, on monte dans le book Gabel, et puis on l'autre monde dit livre le book ou même seulement.
Yeah.
Même jour.
Non, but the thing is, no, Gabel a toujours une priorité. Hein?
Okay.
You know, again, unless, you know, let's say someone reach out and say, hey, we would like to prepare some event ko event sec là, son bail qui est différent format, j'aime dire là, it's gonna be very different. So, you know, that's not a problem, man. Let's say, you know, see somebody had already booked me for something like that ahead of time. Of course, I'll let the band know, hey guys, when I date someone, reach out, make you format after, make you say affair. Then, you know, to inform the band so that way if someone else called the band for the same day, they can say, hey, Flav had this thing going on. But priorité, c'est toujours Gabel lié. Si Gabel va à un event that day, you know, for sure, then it's not a problem. But si Gabel get a go event, that's going to be enough.
Bon, comment tu es ça dit que ou remet un bagay team parce que ou pas quitter bagay personnel ou prend over comme si et groupement côté gagné.
No, for sure. Parce que, bon, et le son leader dans équipe, dans band, ou gain plusieurs monde that's depending on you, right? So I have to make sure, you know, everybody's, you know, is well off as well. C'est pas seulement technique pour moi, so chaque fois, toujours make sure que Gabel get priorité. Now, again, if Gabel's off, you know, and ouais, ça nous va le faire dans Islands, dans le 25th là. Programme ça, so like it's différent, so it won't really affect the band like that. So c'est pour ça que nous make sure que nous get priorité and make sure everything, you know.
That's a beautiful thing, and I'm glad you asked that question and pointed this out, parce que this is the kind of behavior that we would love to see. C'est-à-dire, on fait affaire pour deux côtés, mais même Gabel a supporté, on a son affaire, ou même on continue à supporter Gabel tout. So ça veut dire que des gens, c'est pas ou pas besoin de casser coup non, pas besoin de faire coup bas, ou pas besoin de faire backstabbing pour faire move comme ça, ou capable réussir à explain yourself in a, you know, in a positive. So I'm really glad that you pointed that out. That's a really good one.
Sure.
Okay, guys.
Bon, je voulais dire merci parce que je m'appelle beaucoup parce que je connais qu'on a un côté pour aller ou bien rendez-vous au moins $100.
Nous allons répéter pour you know, for the 25th, so we got to get ready for that.
Oh, yes, no problem. So we'll be waiting for you, man. Thank you so much.
But what about any surprises? Any like last surprises you're gonna have for us? Like something?
What is surprise?
But listen, one thing I can tell you guys that Fatima and I nous tellement pas qu'attendre pour even ça, et parce que we know it's going to be something special, amazing. Greenback could have me and Fatima and I, not Vinny Court, not Vinny Paris. Now, tout le monde qui a regardé show, on a qui va regarder après, you got two things to faire pour moi, okay? C'est pour ticket, first and foremost, acheter ticket. Deuxième là, c'est mettre ticket bien frais. Vinny belle, c'est avec mon Vinny si bon comme on a si bon toujours belle. You guys just come and nous pouvons enjoy, nous pouvons faire photo, nous pouvons rire ensemble, nous pouvons
nice, close and intimate.
Close and intimate, exactement. So, préparez-nous, chargez téléphone nous pour nous faire vidéo ensemble, pour nous faire photo ensemble, because I cannot wait to see you guys on the 25th.
Définitivement.
Wonderful.
Nous mettons aussi, ils mettent ranger école là.
Non. Je t'ai pas débarqué sous lui là.
Je
t'ai pas débarqué.
En tout cas, merci encore Flav. Passons bonne nuit. M'apprécie côté vin dans show là. D'accord?
Merci beaucoup. Meli le show, c'est où lié?
Yeah!
D'accord. bonsoir encore tout le monde et bienvenue encore sur Meli-Melo et c'est segment HMI. Et c'est moi qui parlé là, je introduit que discussion que nous allons faire là. Avant que nous introduisions le tout, je voulais dire que tout le monde que opinion qui va passer sur Meli-Melo, c'est opinion personnelle moi. OK? C'est pas Meli-Melo, mais c'est opinion personnelle Rupipa. Alors tout en pile là nous ouais ça qui est passé là et dit nous sortir passer.
Moi-même nous connais que m'bral loin.
Moi-même toujours loin.
Moi-même ouais des bagages comme ça. Premièrement, faut moi dire que nous tous nous c'est humains, pas une nous qui parfait. C'est-à-dire quel que soit erreur qui fait, nous tous nous ca fait erreur. Mais ça qui caractère humain, caractère monde qui est élevé et c'est comme ça moi m'appelle petite moi, c'est how do you recover from your mistakes? C'est pas faire mistake. We all make mistakes, but how do we recover from your mistakes? That's one thing. Number two, l'homme tel li post qui t'est passé, moi-même mais qui ça le fait me passer. Soit sur Google jodi a ou taper what is today's holiday, y a dit que jodi a c'est Christopher Columbus Day. C'est ça y a dit sur Google. Mais faut nous comprendre que Christopher Columbus sont individus, même genre nous-mêmes, qui décident de faire une exploration personnelle ou bien avec pays par là, li découvrir un pays et que li juger parce que li découvrir pays a fait exister. Kounya li bay tout li prend tout droit pour le prendre sous pays ça. Amérique là c'est pour li lié. Et puis li commencer slavery. C'est avec ça que slavery vient commencer. Là kounya là après toute année ça de slavery que haïtien kick français out de Haïti. Qui ça vient arriver? Français dit que nous devons on dette. Pas vrai? Mais dette que nous devons, il y a des gens qui sont d'accord, il y a des gens qui ne sont pas d'accord. Pour que ça, Français a dit que le douane? Parce qu'il a dit que c'est pour Haïti, c'est pour l'île. Donc, on a la fois nous acheter Haïti parce que c'est l'île qui découvrir nous. Donc, il faut nous comprendre bagay là. Nous-mêmes, jusqu'à Kounia, moi, pense nous avons esprit colonialisme là toujours. Esprit colonialisme, ça veut dire que moi, vini dans l'espace et puis moi, penser ça, c'est pour moi lié. Ça, ou douem ça. Et ça, c'est esprit colonialisme que nous avons depuis le temps de l'esclavage, que jusqu'à présent, moi, nous-mêmes, en tant qu'Haïtiens, nous avons esprit que ça, c'est pas lié. Même Jean Français a dit, ou douel existence. C'est ça, Français a dit. Mais si nous d'accord avec logique ça, c'est que nous... Si nous d'accord, c'est pour nous conséquent non. Si depuis nous d'accord à ça, c'est-à-dire nous d'accord que nous, c'est colonialisme. Mais nous pas qu'à contre esclavage et puis contre colonialisme. Et puis, il y a des bagages qu'on a fait dans la communauté noire. Donc, je pense que c'est un moment de réflexion. Je dis, c'est 14 octobre, qui c'est Christopher Columbus Day, que c'est le jour que le monde décide de prendre en tant qu'esclave. Qu'on y a là, nous-mêmes, nous pas qu'à décider, font au monde vin esclave. Donc, moi-même, c'est comme ça que moi, c'est réflexion ça que je gagne par rapport à ça qui c'est est-ce que nous sommes colons ou nous pas des colons? Si nous décidons de parler colons, il faut nous garder dans le comportement nous, comment que nous décidons de coloniser des mondes autour de nous, ou bien coloniser des espaces autour de nous. Donc, il faut nous interpeller.
Définitivement. Et bon, quitter Dr. Manouchka, font-ils râler
sur ça?
De saleté liée. Et puis après ça, on n'a pas tout dit, qu'est-ce que nous avons là?
Moi-même, depuis moi, on bagaille qui est en Facebook, qui peut-être, Gedwa, connaît que et comme par exemple, moi fait comme moi directement ouvertement et moi te fait comme et sous n'importe bagaille qui un peu et qui que me penser que qui pas doué là et m'gen droit dire mon peut-être gen des bagailles en privé qui ka parler et parce que moi m'a vini la colonialisation moi vini la perspective même comme son chrétien mieux et que gon affaire de comme si que au bail monde grâce tout le monde mérite grâce j'en demandé pour grâce au bail l'autre monde grâce ça c'est l'empathie chrétien but l'empathie et éducation communication courtesy que comme si que courtoisie que y aurait les en haïtien que comme si que gain des gens de communiquer n'importe ce que ça mon a fait un genre de communication et ça fait que depuis 2 ans m'a parlé de communication sur Facebook
c'est ça
il y a monde peut-être qui attendait il y a monde qui va attendre
OK donc c'est effective communication nous parler de colonialisation nous parler de what's wrong is wrong.
Définitivement, et bon, et avant m'introduire guest là qui là, c'est
pour monde qui pas connaît, sous pas connaît aucun problème, sous pas connaître visage ça là ou pas le pays.
L'homme en question, j'ai entendu dire.
One of the best DJs in Atlanta.
Oui, je dis à la gueule sur un petit genre sorti bas pour lui décider de parler dans Meli Melo.
C'est ça parce que c'est un monde qui était victime.
Chaque monde doit parler dans les médias que sent-il qu'à parler. Pas monde n'a pas obligé de remonter sur Facebook pour répondre. Monde doit dire OK bon, on doit aller dans la radio, on doit aller dans la télévision parce que monde qui parle de lien choisit médias pour compte lui. Vous comprenez?
Qui c'est social media.
Qui c'est social media parce que du moment que on dépose on bail sur social media, it's up for grab for everyone. C'est pour tout le monde.
Bon, surtout sur une page qui est publique.
C'est pas un rien on peut dire que c'est personal page. Yeah, it's your personal page, but you post it in a public forum. Vous comprenez? C'est même genre, on écrivait, t'as posté ton bail dans le journal, et puis il disait, moi qui écris lui, mais c'est bail pas seulement, on ne peut pas commenter. Non.
Mais c'est le journal.
Once you put it public, it's public.
C'est ça.
So we have the right, and Meli Melo, ou bien moi-même, have the right pour me commenter de ça, pour me dire opinion pas, parce que nous sommes humains, après tout. Et si Meli Melo pas commenter nos bagailles, nous pas qu'à commenter monsieur qui a fait balle dehors, qui a fait balle à 1h du matin, nous pas qu'à brûler dehors parce que
nous venons pas conséquents en tête, nous venons des hypocrites, c'est ça définition hypocrite là.
On pas qu'à brûler dehors une grande qualité moun et puis l'autre ou pas passe. Non. Je dis à là nous venons avec Dr. Sam.
Mais nous ne pouvons pas citer de nom parce que c'est important que nous gardions. Parce que nous-mêmes, ça n'a pas essayé de faire Melo, c'est quand même un show éducatif. Donc, ça n'a pas essayé de garder, et en action et puis comment pour nous aborder action mais nous pas venir là pour nous indexer monde nous pas venir là pour nous nommer non monde pour venir bâche monde parce que qu'on là c'est comment même monde qui est en action dans bagarre là comment on est capable d'entendre vous dites tout peut-être que tu as l'autre approche que tu capable parce que encore une fois malgré que on monde font bagarre qui passe ça pas oublier pas une nous pas faire là chaque monde qui est sans qui passer dans 20 ans on monde qui fâché ou ka font action qui pas bon mais ou toujours une opportunité corriger.
Bon, maman de Dr. Son exactement lui-même comment le sent-il exactement le web post là qui ça t'a fait comment le fait web post là et puis dis-moi exactement you know
et puis qui ça post là parce que pour quelqu'un qui pas connaît de qui ça n'a parlé.
Bon,
faut tirer d'autres du temps comme connaît ou pas dire quelqu'un qui pas connaît.
OK, moi pas connaît et je pense que venir bien choix tout c'est parce que ça arrivé sur Facebook. Mais dès le fait que on a passé 10 millions, on a passé comme si faire monde pour so payer comme si obligé venir dire OK mais qui est-ce que mais qui compte sortir.
On vient présenter tête en fait.
Parce que Gabriel monde qui ouais DJ mais par contre DJ a sorti.
Vous comprenez.
Elle dit l'homme comme ça là qu'on base sur Facebook. Hey, mon la guess. Il va voir si c'est vrai.
Est-ce que c'est vrai si c'est pas vrai?
OK. Et me songe que tout dernièrement là ça t'est frappé. Bouboule Meli Melo dit oh ou t'es resté clientèle, ça t'a touché mon pile.
Oh, parce que c'est affaire vie privée pas. Oh.
Yes, parce que pour gens moun écrit bagala, tout ça le dit yo fait monde que c'est de monde feel que son monde comme si hey, il t'a fait un paquet de bail pour lui. Ça t'a frappé mon pile parce que c'est mon bail déjà me fait. So, moi-même c'est Dr. Sound, je suis sorti à Haïti, je suis sorti Port-au-Prince. OK, so je fais l'école primaire Dominique Savio. Je fais secondaire le normalien, une nouvelle école France Paris après ça va dans 10 institut. Passion c'est deux bagailles. C'est musique, c'est fashion.
Ah nous connait ça. Nous connait fashion là.
Tellement même musique moi DJ sont moi depuis petit. L'homme sorti quitter Haïti, move Saint-Domingue, fait passer 3 ans Saint-Domingue, de Saint-Domingue, m'tan résidence pour monter New York. De New York, move plusieurs différentes states et puis me venir Atlanta. OK? So, ça veut dire que je suis un monde qui aime DJ, qui aime musique.
C'est ça.
Je suis allé dans Squatch Academy, Manhattan. Je prends 7-8 mois classe. Et bon certificat. Je participe dans un paquet de fashion shows, spécialement Kansas City, où je me habité. Ça veut dire que je toujours travaille backstage avec un paquet de monde qui est dans le domaine.
Donc, vous formez, en fait, dans ça.
Oui, ça veut dire que je débatte dans un fashion show comme volontaire. Pour me dire qu'on gérer affaire rad et puis me dire un business rad moi tout Haïti tout. So me capable dire le ça on dit que le me garder bagala mais avant me garder bagala son texte message que me recevoir
Mais d'habitude, chaque week-end, toujours DJ, parce que je travaille 5 jours, lundi au vendredi, moi DJ de vendredi à dimanche. Ça veut dire que je suis un monde qui est busy, pas même temps même. Son message qui vient de moi. Mais d'habitude, mon n'a doit penser que me fais et que me pas citer non parce que problème personnel non. C'est monde qui là qui dans entourage moi que moi citer non yo. Et m'a dit si on m'a aidé dans businessman dans la vie, me dis merci. Parce que je pas un monde qui est ingrat, tout ça monde fait moi on comprend ni. Je suis un monde qui très éduqué dans ce sens là. Moi monde avant l'argent. Mais je pense que sous pas non fait. Mes amis, pour me songer à un niveau.
Tellement grand pile mon qui est do.
Bon, m'a joué Bouboule dit ah, me parle de cinéma Melo non. M'ba Melo. Elle dit tout monde que me tomber sous lui et que moi toujours bail en salutation. Et puis pour bien te dire tout comment moi commencer business à mon on est en Atlanta, m'pa dire que mon oui il aide parce que il fait bien 2-3 gigs. Mais là il commencé aider tout, gon fil te kon charger. Gon fil prend sous moi parce que il fait bien gig.
C'est ton contrat à côté gain.
Pas gain contrat, on arrangement. Mon dit mon ça que m'a faut jeune gig but you know bla bla. OK. So m'pa payer mon nan. Depuis mon fait un gig là il dit que il prend ça pour le prendre.
OK.
But which is fair.
Yeah.
Parce que listen, faut tout le monde manger. Gen moun qui bon bagay, qui pas besoin rien en retour. Mais gen moun tout le bon main gauche, faut le joindre main droite.
Pas de problème là ça.
Jusqu'à présent pas aucun problème avec ça non. Et son moun tout son moun qui compte faire business bien. Son moun qui aime business. On toujours dit you know what? M'gen dry ice, m'go keep bagay pour wedding ou mettre checker wedding, OK? So nous ka faire business ensemble. C'est pas un monde comme si nous avons communication business, nous pas comme si nous pas amitié. Parce que c'est pas un monde qu'on la cali, il pas qu'on la caméra. Son monde nous parle business et son monde ba en pile respect. Et là ça fait li choqué. On ça choqué, me tellement fait respect tête moi. Me tellement respecter monde et me tellement aimer monde tout. Moi-même, nous pouvons que le tape plus simple. Yo Dr. Sound, hier soir, yo dit mon voyer tout le monde monter. Ou connaît monsieur mon qui est do, mon cher, pense au tap. Qui simple. Parce que le monde dit si tu non micro sont on n'a pas faire li faire.
Donc on dit que ça passe c'est une question que même pas mentionner monde ça dans micro.
Oui, c'est pour simple comme si on appréciation on love. Et puis qu'on a pour monter sur Facebook pour dénigrer un monde.
Mais quelque part, tout ça me besoin de mentionner. Chaque monde qui a sans passer dans le venue, ou qui a senti, je ne pas pas défendre une action qui mal, mais je dis que faut nous avoir empathie avec compassion tout. Parce que il y a des gens qui sont font pile pour un monde. Après ça, un monde n'a pas bon recognition, il a fait mal. Je comprends ça moi-même.
Non mais Anne-Christine même moins de ça.
Cautionner action, c'est pour ça que me dit le monde font un erreur ou
non mais
chance pour récupérer.
Non mais listen.
Mais nous-mêmes tout nous
listen, m'a campo là. L'autre fait un pile pour un monde, ça veut dire son nous prend là et puis la vie moun ça on monte avec lui.
Oui parce que fort dans texte là bon mot qui attire attention, I made you.
Mais c'est pour ça me parler de colonialisme là moi-même, c'est pour ça me parler de colonialisme là parce que c'est un petit peu ça.
Ça dit comme si son monde nous prend en bas, son monde ça veut dire son monde comme si qui pas non niveau, qui pas bagay même non ko monter. Bon, elle dit que m'apprécier ça au compte faire jeune quelques gigs, that's fine, pas un problème. OK? T'es qu'on commencement ou t'es qu'on charger mon fille gon fil après ça nous vinn gon relation business ou pas charger moi encore on content m'apprécier ça ou faire même business m'apprécier ça mais l'autre jour listen c'est moi qui acheter à du gym c'est moi qui investi dans tête moi et moi vinn tout à fait ici.
Yeah.
Martin Claude.
Martin,
what's your point of view? Parce que moi envie parler là, so go ahead. Huh?
Okay, are you able to hear me?
Yeah,
yes.
You're a little bit too close to the camera, or probably pull it up.
Okay.
Yeah, tilt it up. Yes. Okay, that's it. You got good. Perfect. Go ahead. Let me hear your point of view when you saw this.
Before I start, I would like to read a disclaimer before we begin, okay, which we began already, but before we continue, and this is applying to the conversation before, okay, we'd like to issue a brief disclaimer. The views expressed in the public statement we're discussing are those of the individuals and do not reflect, I repeat once again, do not reflect the opinions of the Meli Melo show. I repeat again, do not reflect the opinions of the Meli Melo show or its host. Okay? Our goal is to encourage open dialogue while respecting all perspectives. I want to make sure that is clear.
No, it is clear. All right.
Thank you. My opinion with this, I did see the post. I was not happy about the post, but of course, that is my opinion. I was not happy about it because I felt like that's a post that could have been communicated to the individual. Okay, it could be, but the person that did the post probably did not feel like that's probably their way of relating that message. I didn't feel that it was appropriate because it was public, and I felt like it was degrading a person, and then you're degrading someone in public. I personally do not feel like that's right. Communication to me is the key. That was the key. I felt like maybe the person should have called, and like I heard the DJ say that he did get a call. So if you got a call, maybe you didn't get a chance to respond to the call, and you didn't get a chance to communicate with that person, and that person maybe, I'm not too sure if the person made several other attempts to call you or whatever. I felt like...
DJ a besoin de petit bagay, et qu'on est pour ça te fait en créole, on essaie de parler en créole, on va mettre au pied à l'aise.
Et Martine, bon minute, je ne vais pas recevoir aucun call. Son texte que moi jeune.
OK.
OK.
Non, moi, je te recevoir un appel.
Non, son texte que je jeune.
OK, m'a répété en créole. Moi, j'ai senti que post là, t'es un petit genre dégradant. Ouais, t'es une communication et dans post là. Et post là, tout, il semble au monde capé, you know, qui était angry, qui était frustrated, peut-être pour ça que lui connaît que lui était défait, et puis pour pas get recognized, ouais, pour moun n'a pas honorer lui, pour ça que ça type de fait, moun n'a gen droit vraiment sentir ça c'est gens que le sentir lui-même, pas gen nou qui ka montrer ou qui doit dire qui gens pour feel, ça son fait, parce que lui-même lui feel comme ça, nous chaque gens que nous feel, nous gen doit feel Jean nous fait là, il n'est pas d'accord avec Jean nous fait là, mais ça pas dit que nous pas gain droit pour nous expliquer qui Jean que nous fait. Ouais, bien que même si tout et qu'il y a des gens qui ont pensé que c'est pas business nous pas supposé rentrer dans ça, but that's okay parce que monde qui en question là sous panel là la bail et ça passe là et nous même comme host ou comme guest n'a bail opinion nous mais opinion pas moi-même moi juste senti que c'était un poste qui était un petit Jean loup en public, il était droit et communiquer ça, même s'il pas de joindre ni dans texte là, il était droit relayer plusieurs fois jusqu'à ce que les joignent parce que Dr. et Sound sont monde qui public, li dans tout event, c'est sûr et certain sous pas de joindre ni jeudi ou t'a joindre ni demain.
Bon, question me poser Susan Martin ou bien n'importe qui monde sur panel là. Does that make it okay que au fond bagay pour monde pour aider au monde pour qu'on y a la law pas jeune recognition ou bien au pas jeune bagay pour la get tout dehors.
Merci.
Once again, I'm sorry, Ad. Once again, we're Rudy, ça c'est Jean Mounsa qui a exprimé parler. Ça c'est whether I can say that it does not give them the right. Mais moun nan li même gen wa ouais que li give them the right. So là, nous pas qu'à juger moun nan according to Jean feel que li gen wa express tetli. Gen wa ouais que li wrong, mais même li ouais que li right.
Non, moi pas vraiment d'accord avec vous pour ça. Ou ka express without dénigrant moun Martin. M'ge doit dire me fâcher, m'ge doit dire oh Dr. Sana papa, but m'pa obligé dire tout ça me fait pour ou m'pa obligé
dire ça déjà oui moi dis ça moi dis que li wrong pour moi personnellement
ah bien, OK.
Mais lui même li gen wa feel que li right. You
Mais
understand?
ça,
That's
Ça,
the issue.
Martine a essayé de dire que chaque monde a une perspective, genre, li
Exactly.
agir. So,
Exactly.
moun nan gen doit agir selon perspective parler.
Selon Jean li hurt tout, Jean li
Yeah,
senti que li
senti que
hurt,
li bagay nan.
Jean li
Ça
senti
va
que
vle
whatever
di-
ça
Tout moun
te fait,
gen doit
hein,
gon
so-
perspective, la fi li hurt, ça va vle di ça le fait correct.
Correct.
Mais c'est ça,
Yeah.
et ça me fait besoin d'ajouter sous ça moi-même, c'est que alors ça c'est parti après, c'est-à-dire arriver dans une situation, c'est sanguin en veine, ou pas aider un monde, ou pas attendre un bagage en retour, ou pas gagner pour vraiment fâcher. Ça nous, moi c'est nous tous nous can relate aller. Mais quand me arrivé avec nous, c'est que comment pour nous passer au-delà de sentiments ça yo. On regarde les grands, on regarde Mother Teresa qui décide d'édifier la ville pour aider des monde. Mother Teresa pas chercher recognition dans même monde parce que il vient comprendre que l'on a bail ou bail pour bail et qu'on ka recevoir love là mais on l'autre monde on l'autre source. C'est-à-dire une fois qu'on est capable de faire dépassement de soi ça à côté qu'on décide parce qu'on va bail parce que me connais monde ça particulièrement remet, il a un grand cœur, il remet embrasser monde. Qu'on y a second gift comme ça, il est capable de frapper vrai parce que qu'on est là dehors, on appeler des monde mais qu'on est là faut qu'on travaille sous tête ou même on regarder les grands qui te fait soit PC faire parce que c'est pas premier monde qui a essayé des monde dans la rue, Gandhi te fait, Mother Teresa fait, un pile l'autre monde fait. Regardez comment yo même yo réagi. Yo même yo vinn obligé développer tête yo pour yo capable dire m'a des monde mais grand paquet monde m'a aider là, yo pas même mentionner nom même, mais c'est ça l'humain. Donc on est là c'est au même qui pour réaliser moi continuer à faire travail de bail là parce que c'est ça que bon Dieu te mettait dans cœur. Mais moi pas qu'attendre que parce que moi fait qu'on a m'obligé faire dépassement personnel de soi que c'est pas toute fois m'a bien recognition et m'a obligé OK avec ça. Donc c'est là m'ta que nous arriver nous-mêmes là nous dans situation côté que Jean t'a dit à Martine I feel this way which is completely legitimate parce que mon est sanguin en veine mais étant donné que nous sommes race de monde qu'on a essayé évoluer dans l'humanité comment que nous capable évoluer c'est en regarder les grands on regarder l'autre monde qui te fait même sorte faire et puis regarder comment eux même yo sur passer pour finir apprendre
c'est cultiver humilité
yo cultiver humilité qu'on y a l'autre bagage ou vient cultiver humilité qui ça encore good communication effective communication humilité
parce que sous humilité et ou pas prétendre pour moun recognize you comprendre parce que on connaît que et il y a des conditions que où tout le monde supposé et ça comme c'est que même et moi dit et ça fait toujours dire moun chaque monde garder tête ou cultiver des bagages
c'est ça personnel
parce que
développement
si
personnel
chaque monde fait effort pour développer faire développement personnel quoi me sauver grand pile bagay que nous a
merci nous pas table là c'est développement personnel là qu'il faut pas toujours dire monde ça pas monde qui doué rien en fin de compte pas monde qui doué rien pas monde qui doué reconnaissance pas monde qui doué rien prend responsabilité choix pas si vous remet aider monde comprendre que son travail qui est grave par un pile reconnaissance pour joindre la donne il y a des monde qui plutôt dire plutôt pas aider monde parce que moi même moi créer the school of superpowers pour me capable aider monde parce que tellement te des amis qui après me faire perdre du temps le téléphone m'a aider et puis pas mieux m'occuper même moi dit m'a faire the school of superpowers pour me capable aider des monde comme ça me connaît sur transaction m'a fait avec vous c'est pas amitié lié tu vois
Dr. Sam ajoutez non
bon moi-même, ça m'a pas ajouté et je voulais, comme pour ça, t'es fait public, et m'a salué Martine, c'est un monde qui supporte ma pile, et c'est un monde qui connaît ma pile l'appréciation pour lui. Et moi-même, je voulais adresser ma avec personnage là qui fait poste public là, qui est très important. Par contre, si nous permettons.
Of course.
Juste pas citer non parce que c'est important que nous qu'il anonymat.
Vous pensez ça?
Pensez ça.
OK.
OK, tu sais quoi?
No names, please. Thank you.
Pas de problème. Et ça que moi je suis capable de dire, je dis moun ça merci parce qu'il t'a aidé dans la vie, il t'a aidé avec jeune quelques gigs que m'ai apprécié ça. Ça veut dire qu'ils sont monde qui font parcours avec dans business pas dans vie non, dans business moi vraiment apprécié ça et que je pense que bon shout out non micro ou mériter plus que ça. Comme si c'est pas bon micro et c'est un tel, il y a des gens qui me toute relation ça avec bon.
Shout out.
Ça veut dire que ça pas mis rien pour moi. On se bat qui est capable de dire émotion sont barré pour contrôler.
Emotional regulation.
Pas gen monde qui pas fait, tout le monde qui a fait mistake. Moi même son business que m'a fait business open pour so après chose ça pour petit conscience par la tête ou ressaisir parce que l'on fait mistake faut apprendre qu'on fait mistake et après ça qui passe là pas jamais quand sim tout monde ça odem
on a plus support qu'on
oh mon tellement vinn bon support vinn ouais que valeur dans communauté me dit ça son communauté pour goûter pour me travailler plus pour lui et me pense que m'a dit tout le monde dans communauté qui campe contre ça je ne dis c'est moi-même 2000 dollars tout nous qui là ça veut dire que bagay qui négatif dans communauté si nous n'a fait communauté nous pas doit accepter il te mettre c'est moi qui pas bon faut nous camper en face de tout vous comprenez tout ça veut dire que et m'a dit Melo merci qui m'opportunité pour m'exprimer mais pour me faire monde connaît monde qui pas de conducteur son côté me sortir je ne dis à qui est-ce que mieux et puis ça on capable dire
juste pour ça un seul commentaire que m'a appelé là tout et il y a un monde qui dit que bon no one should ever have to endure verbal or physical abuse parce que nous faisons parler de ça là. Everyone deserves to be treated with respect and kindness.
Yes.
So c'est ça que fait nous faire chose ça.
C'est ça.
C'est parce que nous remarquons tout même dans Atlanta, il y a un petit groupe here, petit groupe there. Vous commencez à me donner des séries de monde qui ont l'impression que frustration c'est sur Facebook yo passé. Mais faut faire attention. Ou passer sur Facebook, il y a des gens qui jugent sur Jean écrit, il y a des gens qui jugent sur ça utilisé et puis vous comprenez, les can hurt you in the future parce que bah qui sur Facebook créé.
Yes.
So, on nous met tête ensemble pour nous bâtir ça les communautés. Tout le monde veut bâtir communauté, mais il y a même une façon que you veut bâtir libre. Ça veut dire pour me craser ou pour communauté à bâtir around me. You can do that.
Et puis là, on unit de l'autre, Manouchka sommes nous capables, son ressources liées, leur besoin d'aide, communication. Moi-même de school superpower, sous besoin évoluer dans l'humanité ou qu'à checker ou qu'à nos amis parce que c'est très important qu'on développe humilité ça pour capable changer tête ou parce que nous tous nous passer par là.
Et je pense que son bagage capable de c'est parce que mentally moins strong. Mais il a affecté ma pile.
Je connais ça.
Il a affecté, il très affecté ma pile parce que si je pas chon bat kon qui est moi côté me sorti parce que me déca fait tellement mal. Et me déca comme si hal hurt on l'autre monde. Ça très important. Ouais une bagarre on monde fait il ka proposer me tirer tête.
Oui.
Dépression.
C'est violence verbale là nous t'a parlé de ça tout à l'heure.
Il était affecté. Même pas la tête, même communiquer avec tête.
Et pour jeunes amis tout pour partager émotion et pour capable vraiment
et moi c'est que m'a salué 3 ans m'a salué papa Adam m'a salué qui tout petit monsieur comme Caron next supporter mon pile capable de prendre qui papa next c'est nek qui bon mon pile gig
c'est ça
c'est nek qui respecte moi respecter tout so même love même amour et m'a dit tout le monde merci qui camper avec qui bon en pile force je ne dis là ne doit pas exister.
C'est ça.
OK. So sur ce nous que là déjà dépassé nous déjà.
Sorry, I'm sorry that you feel that way, Dr. Sound. I really hope that's what que ou fait mieux et puis comme on dit qu'il y a un monde qui supporte ou ta just come back to yourself, come back to normal pour que son bagage qui passe et qui sont erreurs, whatever ça vient, que, everything should be better. On l'autre bagage seulement comme dans les médias tout, l'autre bagage qu'on ça passe dans la communauté tout, c'est un bagage que pour nous apprendre, pour nous suspendre fait tout, suspendre fait si pile, gros pile, pour nous parler de lui sous côté, tout le monde a parlé de lui, mon en question, n'a dit là, et puis nous pas qu'à aller côté mon direct pour nous dire comment nous sentir lui, ça a été fait, ça pas fait. So, it's ridiculous. C'est ça que nous t'as supposé suspendre faire dans la communauté. Fait d'autres monde pas parler devant, pas aller côté lui pour nous dire exactement ça nous senti. Tout le monde c'est humain, tout le monde fait mistake.
M'a juste dit que stratégie ça pas marcher tout le temps. OK, m'a juste dit ça comme ça mais en tout cas nous finissons avec segment ça et puis
on t'y va me l'ajouter.
Allez-y.
Il y a 10 heures comme thing. Faut me dire iSpace merci parce que il a petit extra minute ça là parce que pile l'autre côté tu as taxé nous déjà. Vous comprenez? so opératrice là.
Parce que telle lumière sous nous là.
Vous comprenez? Et puis ça va c'est m'a saluer Calito, il n'a pas gros promoteur dans tant acteur qui te supporter mentalement. Merci Carlitos même.
All right. Mais qu'on est là, on fait plus shout-out, oui?
Lucita dit.
Il y a pas les chaises là.
Lucita dit, me l'a fini.
Moi, dis-moi qui supporte, on va dire Anne-Christy.
Oh, Anne-Christy supporte déjà by lui. Oula, il m'a obligé de dire non.
Matin là go tout.
Oh, Matin pas la game. Mais c'est pas, il va la game.
On prend merci à Ravieux.
Oui, Simalo.
Manouchka, who did a fantastic job with us. Thank you so much. Your perspective is unparalleled. Perspective Manouchka, toujours unparalleled. I love you. Always bring that extra thing that we're not thinking about. So thank you so much for being such a great addition to the show tonight.
Yes,
thank you.
Again, tout le monde a dit merci. On quand même communauté ça together, s'il vous plaît. On nous tous agiter comme frères et sœurs. OK, toujours demander avant nous poster ton bagage. If it was me, comment m't'a réagi? Alors, on me dit tout le monde bonne nuit. Merci parce que tu es sur Melo. Qu'on y a case close.
All right.
Melo, tous les lundis 8h 10h. Melo is the most listening to show in USA. They go live on YouTube and Facebook. Melo est présenté par Penkita, Rupipa et Bouboule. Soyez branchés. Melo, tous les lundis 8h 10h. Melo is the most listening to show in USA. They go live on YouTube and Facebook. Melo est présenté par Penkita, Rupipa et Bouboule. Soyez branchés.
Ouais, Melo show, c'est plus gros show qu'il y a dans Atlanta. L'important pour nous garder parce que son show chaque lundi. Ouais, Melo show, c'est plus gros show qu'il y a dans Atlanta. L'important pour nous garder parce que son show